Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Simrigs World Challenge Round 4 here at Silverstone. We're in our community race right now and just undertaking qualifying with, of course, the 12-hour qualifying a little bit later on today. For some reason, my wheels just turned on. There's a poltergeist in my room right now. But I'm Cameron Pistolplay. I'm joined by Matt Madden here in the comms booth. And, of course, we've got the wonderful Glenn on the cameras as well, where we see an Aston Martin followed by a couple of Lexuses. Grand stuff, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Isn't it just a pleasure to hear a British accent as we cover some racing at Silverstone as well? Amazing British track, famously built on an old airfield, as some of the names like Hanger Straight allude to. And we're experiencing a bit of history tonight as well, Cam, with some old ACC cars that predate my exposure to sim racing entirely. So there's a lot of history to unpack, a lot of OOR, legacy as well with some of these cars. Why don't you give us a bit of a review? We haven't prepped you for this, but give me a bit of an overview of what to expect with some of these cars as we focus here on a Lexus, which I know has a bit of history to it.
Oh, yes. Now, wonderful cameraman loves this car as well. He's a big fan of it, Mr. Jermaine, and all the trouble it's given him in the past. But very sorry. We've got to get it in early. But yes, we got the Lexus on screen. We've got to see all the old gens. So everything here is old spec and a little bit pre-2010s. Not pre-2010s, mid-2010s probably looking at. Obviously, we've seen the Lexus not too far away in previous Sprint Series as well. We've got a Jag there as well. The old 650S McLaren and the old Gen Audi up ahead as well. What you can expect from these cars in the wall as well in the background from the McLaren is where it appropriately should go. Yeah, expect the worst TC and ABS. You think TC and ABS is bad in current ACC? These things are bloody horrendous as well, with some of the most awful suspension you can imagine.
This is going to be a bit interesting. I think looking at the list, which was sent to us by the wonderful Breno Ellis, thank you so much for doing your research, mate. Earlier today, the oldest car on this list is actually the Emil Frey Jaguar, which we were just looking at there. So going to be a bit of an interesting one to see. That one is from 2012 when that was first released. The nearest to that is the AMR V12 Vantage Aston Martin. So look forward to that. That one, you'll hear it coming before you see it, because it sounds like an upset hornet's nest. It does sound brilliant, but it's got that high-pitched V12 ring to it. So looking forward to seeing this go ahead. We've also got, obviously we haven't got an official race entry list tonight, so you'll see some their names and a bit of different spellings or whichever, but we have an interesting list of drivers, including who we're following at the moment, Peter Wild, an academy driver who has a bit of a wild ping that we're looking at tonight up in the red. So we should see a really big difference in gapping in pace as well tonight, which I'm looking forward to myself.
Yeah, it should be very much interesting. So we got the Emil Frey Jaguar as well, like you mentioned. Dare say not to hit you with the actually, but I don't think it's actually the oldest car. As the Reiter Gallardo is probably the oldest, but I would be surprised if anyone's actually championed that thing for tonight as well. That thing is quite the understeer fest. But it is based on the old Gallardo from pre-2010, before 2010 as well from that. But we'll see a few of the old AMGs, not with the bigger grill that the current form has. The old 4AA, I kind of low-key missed this car a little bit. Not that I don't like the 296, but it's I wish I spent a bit more time in this car. And probably you'll see the Evo versions of this one. There isn't the non-Evo version as well. This car was very quick back in its day, if the suspension ever allowed it, because it arguably has one of the worst suspension, or probably just one of the lowest floors, and it basically it got caught up on every single curb you could imagine. But it was a very, very quick car, unlike that thing following behind it, the McLaren.
Yeah, so the idea of tonight, right, is that we kind of balance these cars out. We give them, a limited advantage in terms of getting the weight right off them so that they can all compete with each other. Is the Lexus still going to win? Is it just going to pull away? Is it going to be a total whitewash, or do we think there's a bit of an underdog?
To be honest, even before, back in the Lexus wasn't actually the best car out of these cars back before we obviously got the newer machinery, to be honest. This car was very quick back in this day as well, the old generation Audi. This and the Porsche that we just saw before as well, this would dominate every single SRO AM classification or SRO Pro. It was basically this car, that Porsche and that Audi was basically in every esports series. They had to pretty much mandate how many of them they allowed. But we're talking about a very long time ago, around 20 when we were on. And when I talk about the writer, Brenner, I'm talking about the platform itself. That thing is ancient, not just the year that the writer made it, regardless. But yeah, the Audi and the Porsche pretty dominant back in the day. Hard to say where the BOP's changed as well. I know we're going to talk about BOP even with the old generation, but we are seeing the Ferrari as well. And speaking of which, we were talking about it a little bit on before the broadcast as well. I went and looked up the previous Silverstone 12 hours that we had at the circuit. It was 2021, the 13th of December, if I recall as well, 4 years ago. And guess what? Who was on pole? Bakita in an M6.
So this is quite worth celebrating then. The fact that we have one M6 in here tonight from Pickford there as well on the left-hand side of your screens. We're celebrating a bit of legacy. That car took the win last time. Maybe we can see some absolute magic tonight. I'll tell you what.
That was when we had M4s as well. She was in that M6. Like, it was a very, very good car back in its day.
It's funny because the M6 to my untrained eye, it reminds me of what old stock or touring car races used to be, where you had to have cars that were actually in production on the road, available to sale for the regular Joes like yourself and myself and Glenn here tonight. It just looks like a road car with a bit of extra oomph and a bit of extra love and aero to it. Maybe not too much aero, but just enough. So it kind of, for me, it takes me back. My old man had when he was, probably my age now, had an SLR 5000 Peter Brock edition, Bathurst edition as well. So, back in the days where if you wanted to race a serious race car, you had to have it for sale. And you had to enable it for the general public. So that's kind of what the M6 reminds me tonight. Obviously, it's a hyped up race car, but it just brings that, I could own this one day kind of thing to it. So for any BMW owners out there, you can tell me how wrong I am and how far this is from the production models, but that's the vibes that it's given me, Cam.
I definitely understand that. And to be honest, it's actually, a lot of these cars come from when GT3 was definitely on the cheaper side. It's really kind of ramped up in the last few years in terms of cost. Not that anything is cheap in relative schemes, but I think some of these cars were very, a fraction of what you'd pay for a GT3 right now, even with inflation. An old Bentley, a lovely thing. I do love that old shape. That's probably the only car I've actually driven on this grid, really. And some awful traction control in that thing, but great to see one out here. And looking up the field, we've got a few of the old Mercs. There was a Honda that we just picked out. Someone's in a 720. Get them out of here. That's far too new, even though it's probably the non-Evo model. That might be a contender for potentially with the quickest car here, but it depends, obviously, who's piloting it right now. And great to see a lot of Jaguars, and obviously this old 650S, but that thing was crap even back in its day, frankly.
It absolutely never had its day. But I think they look quite good for these sort of old cars. I don't know. I'm feeling a bit of nostalgia. I think this is a great community race, and we've actually got a decent turnout with 23 cars on track. From what we can see, Glenn, there might be a couple more, but I think that's the max that we've got on the left-hand side. So, oh my goodness, I am so sorry. There's 31 cars on track. This is insane. And, one of the exciting things for me with this Enduro, Cam, is that I think this is where, the Enduros tend to attract more drivers from OOR than the normal sprint series. We just get all these wonderful people that come out of the woodwork because they only focus on the Enduros because they go off and race at the Sims for their seasons. And, we've got LMU and Project Motor Racing as well coming to life. But I think ACC has one of the coolest Enduro scenes, particularly with the way that OOR runs things. And I think we see the maximum amount of magic that we can possibly extract from OOR on these kinds of events. Are you racing in the 12-hour? You gotta be.
I am not. I'm in sim racing, sim bin for the aforementioned future. I currently do not have a functioning wheel. Well, I have a functioning wheel, just doesn't have force feedback. So if I did, I'd be out there right now in this series. I don't know about the Enduro right now.
Do we need to start a GoFundMe? Do we need to get some funds in the door for you?
would be very nice. Just hearts and prayers, just like every sadness in the world, just send prayers and that'll fix it.
Send prayers. That will fix everything. So send a prayer if you can for the wonderful man with me in tonight, Cam. We need to pray for his Simrig as we just hit 0 minutes on the qualifying, and we've seen Jason Teo, former Academy man, stepped up, just getting beaten out there by Paddy Johnson, the man himself, car number 50 with a 158.25. I feel like that's pretty impressive, but also a bit of respect goes to the fezzer there of Jason Teo. Ferrari up the top in the ancient cars. Can we call it the ancient cars? And the outdated cars? I don't know. We've moved on tonight, but
the older gen.
Oh, that's a wall from Ryan Anderson. Turn left, not right.
Someone needs to tell 110, Mr. Bank is that's not an old gen Porsche. That's the current gen.
Oh no, we've got a current gen Porsche in the mix. This is whoopsie, I think.
I've noticed towards the back there's been a few disqualifications. I think intentionally, Mr. Lucas Keys, as he does, likes to come from the back, and let's see if he can avoid anyone this time. Ha 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 ha! Get stuffed, Lucas.
We did see him perform pretty famously well at the last sprint race of the season, pretty much going from dead last all the way through to first. So we might just see something similar tonight.
In the Porsche, very quick car.
In the Porsche as well, exactly. Has he said that they don't have the best suspension? Are we expecting some Porsche pogoing tonight is the question for me.
I think you get Porsche pogoing, even if it's a current Porsche, to be honest. But honestly, probably one of the better cars out there in terms of definitely handling everything. Was quite a brick in a straight line, as all Porsches are.
Okay, copy that. Well, but they have their moments, and they definitely do have that like high pitched friggin'. It's the loud engines that drone in your ears. I've never driven the Porsche in ACC for that exact reason. The noise was too muchy, as they would say. But we're a minute 40 away from our formation lap here. We've got a fantastic field. These community events tend to grab people from absolutely everywhere. Massive thank you as well to Simrigs for putting on these endurance events. Huge thanks to Glenn's work in advance on the cameras tonight. Cam, do you reckon that we can get some folks up the front of, Patrick and Jason there? Do you reckon they can hold off the field? Do you reckon they can pull away and, keep a bit of distance on it?
Patrick, yes. Patrick is a very quick guy, regardless. He is. You have to remember, he came. I think he came third twice in the last week's TT Cup finals, again behind Bakita and Lucas Keys. So that shows the caliber of driver he is. Definitely a few other quick drivers up there, and Bus Cobus and Rondinelli also in the Lexus. So Jason Teo is a little bit all on his own up there in his Ferrari. He does a couple of Ferraris on row 3 as well. But Patrick Johnson, I'm surprised he isn't at the back doing the last to first challenge with the other guys. But we'll see what happens. I think Patrick will have a bit of a quiet race if he doesn't get pipped off the start.
Going for all the glory, perhaps. Now, Silverstone, where's your head at? Love it, hate it, vibe it, don't vibe it?
Love it.
Yeah. Great track. Very flat, flat, but a lot of fun to drive. And I think it's a great enduro track as well. So I'm really excited for Saturday.
Fantastic track. Timeless. Great track. Great to see someone in the old GTR. That's fantastic. Sorry, Glenn, can we go back and have a look at that old GTR? Please.
Back it up.
Reverse.
Back it up.
Beep, 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 beep. Look at the wheels on that thing. It has a great set of rays, not quite TE37s, but any JDM nerd. Yeah, that one. Lovely. It's lovely. Sorry. Rest of the field, who cares about those? Yeah, give us a flash.
The 2015 GTR was worth the stop, in my opinion.
The Bentley's towards the back says normal, frankly.
Yep. We've got Matty Powell coming in saying there is no entry list. We trusted everyone to pick a legal car. It wasn't half legal. Who's got the newer Porsche? Is it Ibrahim Bank?
Yes, I believe it is.
Ibrahim is one of our youngest racers, I think, in OOR across the board. We'll give him a pass for this one.
Yeah, give him a pass on that one. And kudos to everyone. Is it the V12 as well? A great sounding car, but that thing's quite a brick. It was actually, I think, kind of in the back of it, it was probably one of the top 3 quickest cars at Bathurst before we kind of got the new generation. It was just all straight line, and it was somewhat kind of manageable through the corners. but it was all straight line in the glorious V12 that it has. Don't think we'll be seeing anything remotely like that in the future, sadly. But we're on for a formation. You'll be doing the start as well. What's your pick? You pickled my brain. What's yours?
No, I know. Look, there's a couple of Ferraris up the pointy end of this. I'd love to see anything beat all of the identical Lexis. Or is this like goose to geese, like loose? Anyway,
No.
we'll move on.
Lexi is one of our commentators, isn't it?
Yes, Lexi is one of our commentators. She and I will be in the booth together on the weekend. But no, I'd love to see anything gyp the Lexus from winning this. So I'd love to see a Ferrari 488. I haven't really got a history with the car, but I do have a mate that was actually recently just over in Monza. Massive shout out to Sammy Carrots if he's on and listening tonight. But he actually got to drive a Ferrari 458, not an 88. Around Monza just the other week. So, it's a bit of personal attachment. And so I haven't caught up with him since he got back, but I do have a message for him that says, I can't explain to you the feeling in typing. I need to talk to you about it. So there's a beer that's overdue for he and I to catch up over that. As we see Ben Vintner in the old Audi, the new Audi, famously very difficult to drive, only for the bravest at heart.
It was even worse. That thing was like, honestly, a little bit like driving a single seater.
Amazing.
It was very loose on the rear. I'm sure Brenner in the chat is probably going to agree with me on that one at least. But that one was pretty scary. You needed a quick set of hands on that one, and sometimes it wasn't even enough.
My goodness. And we've got some requests from Crispy here in the chat. Do we want a random safety car mid-race? Maybe we can request some things like that. I can't tell you how much we'll follow through, but it would be quite interesting to bring the field back together as we see Jaden Rondinella here in the Lexus with Lexus Bestest as his team name with the
very apt of you, Glenn, to go to Mr. Rondinella at this part of the track.
Just check in on Loopty's mowing as we see him here. Loopty straight, goodness me. But let's just hope he can keep at least 3 or 4 wheels on the tarmac, as he's famously known for hopping off, Jaden Rondinella. I've been driving a bit of LMU recently, so it's wonderful to see cars ghosting into each other again. I forgot what a wonderful feature. So we see everyone lining up 2 by 2. We've got a 30-minute race here. It's just after 5 in the afternoon at the wonderful Silverstone, which is in the UK, Cam's home. We're on a bit of a remembrance path today for him. Thank you all for dialing in early on your Thursday evening to Octane Online Racing, proudly brought to you by Simrigs. As we come up here to the start line, everyone tracking nicely over their grid boxes. We've got Paddy Johnson in the Lexus, and we've got Jason Teo creeping ahead in the Ferrari 488. This is going to be a tight race between some legacy cars, and we are green. Up on the inside is Patrick Johnson going over on the outside. Looks like Rondinella with the pink rims on the Lexus. Buskovus up the inside. Jason Teo holding fort, but dropping back to third. On the inside here, creeping up through his Buskovus. We're back in the field now. No incidents so far. Everyone's super clean. We're following Noah Reinhardt there in a Lexus, but we're back with Jason Teo. Glenn's keeping me busy. We're going through Maggots and Beckets, one of the most complex series of corners to get right and just let alone get through. As we come up to Hanger Straight after Chapel Curve, we get a bit of a reprieve. I'm breathing, Cam. I'm breathing, but it's been a pretty easy race start so far.
Yeah, and all my talk about maybe the Lexus won't be the fastest car, and unfortunately Mr. Jason Teo has been absolutely mugged by Mr. Buscovers and Mr. Rondinella as the run down into Stowe Corner and the start into Vale. Mr. Jason Teo is coming back up the inside of Jaden Rondinella. He gives him the space up the inside, and Mr. Rondinella will have the next corner as well as the run now onto Club and into the Hamilton Straight as well. But it is going to be Lexus 1, 2, 3 and all the same livery as well, the Tech 1 racing cars, as the field of the gaggle all comes around down to the Hamilton Straight as they run now down into Abbey. We're following Steve Ferrugia here in the old AMG, the 2015 car, one of the oldest current platforms still running in the real life series on the back of a McLaren 650S. Gets it stopped nicely for Village as the Aston V12 behind him is fending off the Porsche of Mr. Ibrahim Bank as well, with another Lexus behind. But pretty clean start, I have to say. Very clean start, and already a big gap. 2 seconds for Mr. Patrick Johnson at the front.
Let him go. Yeah, how good's the AMG? I tell you what, I swear they were more ridiculous a couple of years ago, but it's got a nose only a mother could love. It's the biggest thing on the front of the car. My goodness, it's so hard to drive when you got that much room out in front of you. I don't know why it looks bigger as we watch Mickey Pickford going off around the outside of the Lupin Village chicanery there, but managing to pull it back through in time for Anna Tree and onto the Wellington Straight. No, sorry, we're in Woodcote. I'm so sorry. That was through Brooklands and Luffield. As we go back onto the National Pit Straight, aka just the main straight there, and up into Corpse. Famously for me, one of the difficult corners to try and keep valid. I tend to run wide on that one all the time. I don't know what it is. I just get too hungry as we're watching Pickford in the wonderful, beautiful stock car looking M6. Looks like I could see it on a V8 supercar track. Switching to Ryan Anderson up here, taking all of that green curb nicely as we see a GTR go flying off, but rejoining there, possibly 1 or 2 positions ahead. I think that's Nipris. Yeah, that's Matty Nipris. That's a bit cheeky, Matty. We did see that. A bit of a cheeky redress, but I don't know if we've got stewarding tonight, so there may be no repercussions.
Yeah, I don't think he came up well. I don't think it was a net loss regardless, as the Lexus in front of him going up the inside of the McLaren. Did it make so close. The McLaren gave him the space. I believe that is Roy Atkin in the McLaren with Nipris behind. As the Jaguar's gone around. I think that was McLeod in one of the ML Frey colours. 54 is around. Yes, it is. And thankfully he isn't collected and gets going a nice little pirouette as well to get facing the right way. But where's Lucas Keys? We're up to 26 already. 7-12. Moyen Taufik in the older McLaren. I trust that's the old McLaren because they're kind of indecipherable between each other. One kind of on the front. Yeah, the old one.
Nice one. I've also just been corrected. A bit of a Freudian slip there. I call it corpse because I die there all the time, but it is indeed cops. Brenno's absolutely got me there. It is, to me, corpse because that's where the bodies are buried. No live stewards tonight. We've just had it confirmed. Crispy is there to make sure nobody is naughty. Excellent. Hopefully everyone's good for you. Santa is coming just around the corner, so make sure you stay good. Nice list, but we see a bit of an interesting line there from the McLaren of, I think that was Roy Ankin, going a bit tail waggy off into the dirt. We also see Lucas Keys throwing 2 wheels in the dirt, just checking the length of the grass there, making sure the curb's still there. But he is hopping up through. He's already up to 21st. It's like he drives this thing as his day job.
Oh, man. You got the GTR right behind him as he's going to... I wonder if we're going to see a lot of more drive-throughs or track limits at turn 1 here, because all these cars generally have a worse, more understeered than a lot of the older cars. There's obviously no setups as well probably out there. You've got the defaults, and they're pretty terrible and pretty understeery as well, even the aggressive ones. But as Porsche... even the Porsche is struggling, but everything else is even worse through that corner. The suspension and the turn-in is horrendous for all these cars. As Lucas Key trying to pull along the side McLaren decent though with the turbos, and he's getting a good run down the straight. The old Porsche is feeling the pain right now, but he gets back up the inside as the McLaren goes wide through Stowe as well, and hopefully it gets it covered off for Village, and it looks like he is going to get it stopped, and Lucas Keys up another place with just a Ferrari up ahead, and Mr. Mark Bushell as well.
Excellent. We've also just been informed that there is no car audio coming through the stream, Glenn. Not sure if you can push some of your magical buttons in the background to fix that, but at the moment everyone is relying on our dulcet tones for some entertainment as we see Lucas Keys going up here too wide onto the Wellington Straight up into Brooklands and Luffield.
Yeah, run now. Out. We're at the loop. We're not there. Now we're on the Wellington Straight. The loop is straight. Entry.
There we go. I'm getting it. It looks all the same from this angle, but we're doing well. So we've got Lucas Keys now sitting at 19th. How much time has he put into this car? This is a bit terrifying. He shouldn't, unless he's running some esports setup from back in the day and no one else has access to it. Everyone else has selected the safe preset. This is a bit immense.
Oh, it's Lucas Keys, so, of course he's going to come through the field somewhat. But the old Porsche is a very, very capable car relative to a lot of this field. It is going to be interesting. And also Mr. Ben Vinter, he's also started at the back grid, just 2 places behind as well. But the field's starting to spread out a little bit, and kind of a little bit of a train up ahead. But with the M6 just up ahead as well. Just to be okay-ish car here, pretty decent. But yeah, with those Porsche, you have to definitely make the moves count because you are going to be relying a lot on your brakes as well. It was a lot more of a more sort of edgier car coming onto it, and it just gets so much of a better run through Chapel and Beckett's, and a run down to the hangar straight into Stowe, but the BMW is going to reign supreme on the straights, where he brakes late to hold it around the outside. Does make contact with Mike Pickford, goes for a slide as well. Not too sure from that angle who was at fault, but it's going to be M6 on top ahead of the Porsche.
Yeah, I think that's a good move from Lucas, backing off there just after the contact around through Stowe. But insane to try and go too wide through there. Doesn't have the speed on the straights. Breno just pointing out in chat, absolutely no overtakes on the straights ever in this old Porsche. As you mentioned, though, but he manages to get that overdrive into the corner.
Look how much the entry, the speed that he can carry in that Porsche relative to everything else, especially against that M6. As he dives back up the inside, he sends the dummy. The M6 sees him coming, tries to turn down, but does give him the space, goes wide, and the Porsche is going to get ahead. Mike Pickford trying to come back, nose to tail, the closest action we've seen so far, and it is going to be Lucas Keys on top as well in the run down to Luke D. Straight.
Luke D. Straight ought to be the official name as we go.
Cannon.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile,
Patrick Johnson. He is 3.2 seconds up on Buscovus now. We've seen Jason Tia, who qualified second, back down to fourth position as well, as Buscovus and Rondinella have shot through in their Lexi, the Lexuses. They're up there and they're pushing through first, second, and third, followed by Ferrari 488, 88, and a Lexus and a Ferrari as well. But we've also got a McLaren and an AMG and an Aston rounding out the top 10. Our man Biggie Higgy, typically on the cams, but racing and driving tonight. Biggie Higgy, Ben Hignett on the in the Aston, in 10th position as well. Outstanding work from him.
Yeah, great stuff from him as well. And a couple of incidents in the back, but there'll be a few more to go. And just to remember, this is obviously a short race, while at 8:30 we'll be having our full qualifying for the Silverstone 12 hours, obviously taking place, I believe, this Saturday as well. Come join us, come all. We need a few more commentators as well, so if you feel like doing some commentating, please sign up. I'm sure there's a few more voluntary positions here and there if you want to help out. And thank you everyone who does dedicate their times. I know we got a lot of two-man teams for Silverstone. Should be quite interesting. 6 hours apiece at the very least.
It seems funny. I don't know why people are more willing to do a two-man team, but at Silverstone, despite any track. But it's funny because I almost had the same thought. I almost ended up in a two-man team for this Enduro with the wonderful Mr. Dave Stevenson himself. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the fact that there's a couple of straights. You get a bit of a break. You can just chill out a little bit. Maybe it's not as terrifying. There's way less walls than something like Bathurst, and there's way less curves you need to hit than something like Zolder. So the fact that it's a little bit more of a relaxing, smooth Sunday drive through the English countryside, maybe that is what makes it a little bit more appealing. Who the hell knows?
We should just force all the two-man teams to be in GT4s at the last minute and make it really spicy.
Hey, a good old multi-class Enduro would actually go quite well in ACC. I wonder how many people would willingly sign up to the GT4s. I don't think I've ever driven with a full
that's the
tank.
Problem. I think that's why we haven't had one in a long time, if I recall. Everyone wants to be in the, let's say, big spoon position in a GT3 when it comes to multi-class, sadly.
But, sometimes every big spoon has to go and just be a little spoon for a night. So maybe there is a rhyme and a reason to do it. I don't know. We should look into that. We've also got a 10-second penalty for car 6 for murder, allegedly from Steve Lewis there in chat. I don't think we could give any official penalties, but it's good to know that we've got that in there as we see Buscovus run very, very wide out of village there. A good, really, really fast section of corners there. On this track in particular, out of the straight, we've got Cops, which also I affectionately have known as Corpse. We've also got Abbey after the Hamilton straight. Those two really fast right-handers, where it's basically just I think I can. God, got invalid again. It's so easy to run wide if you get a bit hungry on the accelerator.
If you like changing the names a little bit, do you call Stowe Stool because it makes you do?
Because it is a crap corner. It is a crap corner.
I wasn't going that way. I was more so if it kind of makes you have a little bit of an accident sometimes.
as you run wide there out of Stowe or Stool into Vale. Is it Vale or Vale, you reckon? Because if it's Vale, that's a
Vale.
death
I think
notice.
it's Vale.
Because if it was Vale, that's the old Latin for death notice, right? So we've also
I'm
just
not that
had
lectured.
we've had Breno just say stove maybe, because if you move in there, if you can take that corner well, you are cooking. Perhaps.
Very nice, very nice.
Yes, thank you. It's late on a Thursday. Don't expect too much more than that.
It's early in the stream. It's the problem.
Yes,
I'm already losing.
Here we are. Everyone that's
are.
on there is stuck with us. I've been sitting in an office cooped up all day, so this is my nightly chin wag. We're in trouble.
Love to see it. We're just getting our practice in for the Saturday full experience. Oh, it's gonna be
no!
There's a run at a spirit and pirouette, and
Rob Brickley has been taken out by Biggie Higgy on the inside. Ben Hignett just doing a little bit of a pit maneuver there, perhaps on the old Ferrari from the Aston. Bit of a tricky one. No big sticks to get hit with tonight, so I think there'll be sorries and Fs in the chat if we can get those. Might make life a little bit easier for Rob Brickley there after the little pirouette that he did. Interesting, I've just seen Benny Hignett's team name is going to break Liam's kneecaps. Have we got any insight into that? Liam Hamilton, perhaps?
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think. It's the only Liam I can recall in this series right now. But I'm forward your questions to Mr. Hignett on that one. I'm completely. I do not know what that one's about. I think you look at any of these team names with a little bit, you're a little bit of salt. You look at your own, especially as he's got Lucas Keys all over him. It's an ultimate attack machine, the Kevin Estre spec Porsche, and he gets a cut underneath and trying to go around the outside. He's going to suffer. It'll be inside for Hignett potentially, around the outside for Mr. Lucas Keys. Breaks late, but Mr. Hignett gets it stopped as well. He's going to cut under a little bit, maybe try and cut under again as Lucas, trying to get a better run out of it on the Aston. Hopeless TC as well on a lot of these cars. He has a nose ahead alongside, and they run along, and it's going to be side by side as the run down Wellington. Aston V12, twice the cylinder count in the Aston Martin against the Porsche. You can see it is edging a little bit ahead, but Lucas still along the inside, and there is a touch there as they came to blows a little bit. It looked like a little bit, maybe a bit of an early turn in for the Aston Martin, but both were safely through with Lucas ahead.
Yeah, going to be hard for Biggie Higgy to break the kneecaps of Liam Hamilton with the ankles broken, as we just saw from Lucas Keys doing the old switchback crisscross applesauce dummy fake play to a full-on run-through down the straight there, down Wellington Straight. Incredible move, a lot of gonads to pull that one off. We've also just seen Steve Lewis in the chat. Biggie Higgy gets 10 seconds for being a bit of a piggy. So we actually have got a live penalty coming through now. Thanks so much, Steve, for keeping us up to date on your stewarding moves as you also race direct this entire schmozzle, as we've got an AMG now sitting of Ryan Anderson sitting hard on the tail there of Benny Hignett, looking for a way around whilst also inspecting the underside of that rear wing. In the AMG, I don't know too much about the straight line speed, but it appears to get a really good run down the inside into Stowe, Stool or Stove, depending on your current worldview, as we run wide, but that's a safe exit there onto and into Vale and Club, this little switchback section of the circuit. Very, very interesting little section. Very difficult to get right, even easier to get wrong as we end up on Hamilton Straight. Interesting, these cars, you got to be thinking there's still a lift, but I've seen some of them actually braking just a smidge into Abbey and Farm off Hamilton Straight there, as well, as opposed to many of the current gen cars can actually just get away with a bit of a lift there. So that rings true to the understeer that you were talking about before there, Cam, as well, of these older gen cars.
Yeah, they don't have the downforce levels, and the kind of consistency is a lot of the newer gen machinery, and as well as also the setups aren't developed. See a car going off in the distance as well, going very wide, but a little bit of a break, maybe bigger lifts you're going to expect through Abbey and Farm. And that's kind of where, I was talking about Lucas's Porsche as well, and as people were saying in chat as well, the older gen McLaren, not the 650, but the original generation of 720, I think that Taufik's driving, was a weapon here. And those cars were, they were pretty on the pace, and they didn't have to slow up for a lot of those corners. A lot of these bigger, older machineries had to kind of rely on the BOP to bring them back in line, which hence why they were so much quicker on the straights.
Speaking of BOP, we've evidently given it quite a good nudge tonight. We've just seen Lucas Keys set a 158. I think it was a 158.7 race pace, which is pretty immense for some of these older cars. So we're following Mark Bushell now in the Kovacs racing. In the McLaren, we don't see too many Kovacs racers driving the McLarens. They're typically Porsche fiends. So it's good to see them in the old Macca tonight. Well, not so old, but, last gen, we'll call it. We're running up the straight now. Quite a nice, tidy looking livery here. Very classic ACC for the way that they do colour schemes and everything, running up into stove or stool, depending again on your vintage and on your approach to life, the universe and everything, running down into Vale Varley now. Varley, if you miss it and you get it wrong because you're dead, but out into Club. I don't mind the look of this old, this little old Ferrari. Sorry, it's not a McLaren. I'm catching up now, but yeah, we don't see many Kovacs boys in those old Fezzes, but looking good nonetheless. I don't know whether this one too sounds like a vacuum cleaner. Haven't heard it in real time. You got to think that it has that big intake.
It does. It is a V8 twin turbo, so two more cylinders than the current Ferrari. Sounds better, but doesn't sound great either. The 458 your mate was driving was definitely a lot better because it lacked the turbos, and unfortunately turbos, regardless of what it are, they do kind of just act as big exhausts. Really, you're just adding a lot more kind of buffeting to the car when you add a set of turbos, despite the performance. And a run now into the last corner of Luffield, or second to last corner, who gives a toss about Woodcote. If these cars, they're a bit old, but they can get through that one, no problems at least. The Ferrari, this car, I've alluded to it before, but it was really up and down on whether it was decent or completely rubbish, depending on the corners. Obviously, we all know it's older, and some of the curbs there, this thing was hopeless on those curbs. It was absolutely bugger. It kind of really showed the limitations with the game's engine when it came to suspension, this thing, because as you can kind of see as well, it kind of just sits absolutely on the floor, really.
It's a door chock, isn't it? Look at this. It's like sitting there gripped, rubber down to the ground. That's not going anywhere. But we see Benny Vintner here in the Audi started near dead last there with Lucas Keys, and he's actually now sitting in 12th. So he's driving really quite well in the old ancient Audi, which we did say was really difficult to drive. The good-looking Castrol livery there too is continuing at the moment to venture his way up the field, now sitting behind Biggie Higgy the Piggy with 10-second penalty. So honorary 11th now for Benny Vintner, but Ferrugia, Keys and Bank only just ahead as well. Actually interesting to see the battle between Bank and Keys whenever we get a sec, Glenn, but I'm keen to see this one before we switch over, so don't move just yet, because we've got Benny Vintner looking for a way around. I'm trying to keep it up with my different Bennies, but coming through now past the Pirelli signs, this is looking good. The two of them on for a battle. The Audi looks to have a better drive there out of Aintree onto the Wellington Straight, using all of that green exit there. Only 10 minutes left in the race, Cam, and we're going to get a good draft. Benny Vintner pulling to the outside, the inside, the dummy and the fake, and then we are going left into Brooklands and Luffield. This is a really good drive from Benny, but didn't get the drive on his other Benny. We've got B1 and B2, the Bananas in Pajamas, battling each other here with a 5-second gap. So once Benny Vintner finds a way around here, we have a lot of work still left to do to enter into the top 10. But we're seeing this continue to go, sitting hard on the tail there. What's your way around? Where are you picking a fight with Benny Hignett here, Cam?
Oh, very tricky to say. You're kind of having to wait for a bit of a mistake, because on the straights, the V12 has the power, even if it's got 10 cylinders in the Audi, won't be enough. Oh, got a little bit weird on the curb and kind of affect his entry now into Maggots, Beggots and the Chapel, but I imagine he'll get a mega exit through here because the Aston Martin will kind of get a little bit unstuck from the last run onto the straight. It's a better run, but the V12 might compensate, but he still gets closer and closer to the slipstream as well. He's got to look to the inside. Also close. No gap between, no quarter given, right up the inside, sticks to the apex, and I think that's going to be day done for Mr. Vintner. Gets ahead of Mr. Hignett.
Oh, mate, that's an incredible move. Had zero track room there. A big squeeze from Biggie Higgy the Piggy. Incredible move there from Benny Vintner. Absolutely, really well driven. We've also just seen Lucas Keys get past. Oh, no, hang on. We've had a change in position. Ibrahim Bank has overtaken Liam Hamilton, and Lucas Keys now sitting behind Hamilton. If we can get a bit of a view on that whenever you're free, Glenn. That's a bit of a chop change there, but we've got less than a second and a half between those three cars. That is a fantastic bit of driving. Ibrahim Bank in the, I believe the newer age, new spec Porsche, but we won't focus on that just too much. But we do have the Lexus followed by Porsche, new and old. Battle for the young and old here, mate.
Yeah, quite a run. And to be honest, despite one being a lot newer than the other one, these two do still race together in real life across different series. The Lexus still being piloted out there, obviously in WEC and LMGT freeform, but obviously also in the States in the IMSA series of Vasta Sullivan Racing. So it's not out of the realms of competition. The Porsche behind, though, of the fricadeli colors, it is Lucas Keys. Definitely not really being championed around in any of the current series. But honestly, that old Porsche, I think it was a quicker car than the new one. Though I can't really say that really because I haven't driven the new one. Definitely the setups are probably better now with the current new one, but the Porsche behind you can kind of see it kind of had more performance to give at certain circuits, but it did fall down a lot as well. Let's see how Lucas Keys tackles this one as he fights his let's say younger counterpart. Whoa, big slide there from the MG. Brought it along, kept it still, but Lucas Keys going to look up the inside. He's going to stick it up the inside, and Mr. Ibrahim did fight out. He's going to fight the racing line. He's going to slide really, really wide, find the marbles, keeps it held out, and might need to find a postcard to come back to the circuit, as the Lexus is already having to defend from Lucas Keys right now in the fricadeli cars, the red and the white, that we normally see in the Nürburgring 24 series, but it is going to be Lucas Keys already up now into P8, fastest lap as well. I think the Lexuses of the top threes are a little bit far off. He's got 6 minutes to go, so I reckon he can get to top 5, or actually maybe not, because Mr. Parker Armstrong in P6 has quite a gap to P5, but definitely on for Mr. Lucas.
Yeah, Pascal Armstrong, we're looking for a pretty good drive here. He is in a Lexus as well, which means that he has that upper hand. As we know, the Lexus is so good, especially with the boppage of tonight. But yeah, we've got Keys now ahead, only sitting 0.25 behind the car in front of Pascal Armstrong. So let's see how we go. Pascal Armstrong. I'm so sorry, I get your name wrong every week, mate, but you're a stellar driver. And at the moment, you're having to battle one of the fastest drivers in OOR, and we salute you for it. But it looks like Lucas Keys just found a way up the inside there, as we can see in the corner ahead. Yep, gets ahead of the Lexus. Now Lucas Keys has about a 10-11 second gap to Graham Hill to catch up on 12.8 seconds. There you go. Lucas Keys has his work cut out for him. Only 5 minutes 40 left of the race. I don't think he's going to quite get up there, but at the front we do have Patrick Armstrong. My goodness, my brain's fried today, Cam. I'm cooked. We got Patrick Johnson. I don't even know where Armstrong came from, but Paddy Johnson sitting out there 5.4 seconds above Buskovas, and Rondella chasing, looped his lawn mowing, sitting 4.9 seconds behind that, followed by our man Graham Hill. Sitting up there is a Ferrari 488 alone in fourth.
Yep, standalone. I think we've just lost Jason Teo somewhere, so not too sure what happened to him. Might have had a disconnect because he's completely disappeared everywhere. So he's going to put Lucas up into P5. Deso, he's got a bit of work to do to catch Mr. Graham Hill. 12 seconds in 5 minutes. So, I doubt Lucas a little bit, but, I think that one's a little bit out of the realms of possibility, but it's a valiant effort. You can see in the Porsche as well how he kind of had to manipulate the car. That's what I loved about that old generation Porsche, because I spent a lot of years in that car as well. A very love-hate car. It really didn't work if you weren't on it, but it really does. As Ibrahim Bang looks like he comes to a stop, maybe run out of fuel, hardware issue, but unfortunately he's going to put him well out of the top of this race. Maybe just that's it. I'll get a little bit ready for the qualifying if he is doing the qualifying later on at 8:30 in about 15 minutes time. But I'm sure we'll get there in all due course as well. Stay tuned as well. Thank you again to everyone who puts these things on, all the volunteers. Thank you to Simrigs as well as helping keep the lights on. Looking forward to the qualification. And of course, we'll have our classic top 10 shootout for the Silverstone 12 hours.
Yeah. Exciting. I do like these tracks as well that are a little bit longer. It takes me back to, events such as the Bathurst 12-hour out, the OOR Enduro earlier this year. The longer laps, you can really kind of sink your teeth into it, and especially from a commentary perspective. I've got the sector times down in front of me. So under the bridge of Hamilton Straight, under the bridge of Hanger Straight is close enough to the end of Sector 1. So I know that we should be looking at about 31.5 seconds if someone's on for a 157-ish lap time, 157, high 157s. And then by the time they exit the loop, that green, sort of turf strip on the outside, the runoff area of the curbing, they should be at about 123.5 or 123.7 if they're tracking for a 157. So you and I should get a pretty good idea between that my dummy Sector 1 and Sector 2 markers of where the cars are going to finish, so long as they don't muck up any of the other sectors after we call out their time. So looking forward to talking that one through. I do enjoy the quali for that. It gets me all revved up, gets me all excited. These community races are an excellent way to get everyone else on the stream revved up and excited about what's to come.
Yep, we're looking forward to everything, and we'll sort out any issues that we just have in time as well. We'll have like a mini break as well. Graham Hill now still looking to go down to the last couple of corners. We're quite slidey here in this old 488. I'm sure he'll do it. Get around just fine as Lucas is down to 10 seconds, but I don't think it's going to happen. But regardless, to say, just a point on these older gen cars as well. There was, not to get technical, but a year or two ago, basically when they added the 296 and all them, the kind of GT3s, the modern ones that we know and love, like the Lamborghini. No Lambos here, whether it's new or old, Lamborghini's still unpopular. When they added all those, they kind of did something with the game engine. The physics, I think, went up to 400 hertz from 360. Kind of changed a lot of how things work, and it's basically kind of potentially the reason why a lot of the TC systems and ABS are kind of a rubbish in most cars. They only really work in the Ferrari 296 and the Ford Mustang. But I think it's hurting a lot of these older gen cars as well right now, unfortunately. But I have to say, I'm quite impressed with how the speeds that some of these old cars are able to do. We saw Lucas in the 58s as well. Obviously, Mr. As you like to call him, Mr. Pascal Johnson out in front, also in the 58s as well. But should be interested to see what we actually get for qualifying. I think I'll save it for the race. I went and got the last pole position from our last 12 hours at Silverstone. I'll be interested to see how much they smash it in 4 years later in 2025.
Forward to that, the different cars and the different skill sets here as we come on to what will be one of the last two laps here. We've got a good little battle here. Ferrugia is only 0.8 off Pascal Armstrong. We've actually seen him gaining. He was 0.4 seconds just a moment ago. We've also seen, just a quick update on the field, B1 has fallen behind B2. That's Benny Vintner behind Benny Hignett, or Biggie Higgy the Piggy tonight, as with the 10-second penalty. Don't know what's happened there, but I reckon there's chances are that Benny Vintner's just gone off or run wide on a corner and allowed Mr. Hignett back through there. But we are seeing this 0.8 gap. Possibly just a little bit streaking. We're down to 0.5 now. We've only got a few seconds left of the official race time, and then it will be down to the leader to lead us through that final lap. We're getting a good run onto the straight. The big schnoz of the AMG here tucking in behind the Lexus, but the Lexus's top end and top speed is just too strong for the AMG. Let's see if we can pick up something through the corner. A little bit of a slide there for the Lexus of Pascal Armstrong. So we see Ferrugia come up, out and through the final corner of Woodcote onto the main straight of Silverstone, also called National Pit Straight, onto the outside curbing there, running down over the grid lines. We've hit 0 seconds, but we have one more lap to go in our community race. Up and down and around through Cops and looking into Maggots and Beckett's now. Famously very difficult set of corners to get right. You've got to get all of that curb on the left, all the right, sacrifice your speed so that you can hug that inside left-hand curb. Try and open up this right-hander as much as possible to get all the speed and drive out onto the hanger straight. And we've just found the grass there, looped his lawn mowing out of Chapel from Ferrugia there. He's going to forfeit a bit of time. We're seeing 0.36 on the timing tower, but it's going to be a little bit more than that. 1.26. It's so easy to drop so much speed, pace, and time out of Chapel there if you get it done wrong.
Yep, the old 2015 AMG was quite an understeer fest. I've used that word term quite a lot this last half an hour or so. But yeah, the AMG suffering a little bit. Everyone's kind of making a few mistakes out there. Did see Mr. Vinter did drop back a few places. You know, the cars that aren't understeering are kind of losing their rears, and the cars that are understeering are kind of just washing out even more. So Lexus actually seems to be quite fairly balanced when it comes to tires, but I'm sure someone will correct me on that one. Actually, it burns out the rears, or actually anything. But a big slide there on the Lexus through the farm corner as well. Gets it stopped nicely though for Village. Steve Ferrugia is going to give him a little bit of hope, but he's only got about five corners left to make this one count. Patrick Johnson getting across to the line, absolutely decimates the field ahead of Buscobas, ahead of Rondinella as well. As an absolute podium sweep for the Japanese manufacturer of Lexus. But going out into the last corner, I don't think Steve's going to be able to make this one work. He piles it in. He gets a little bit closer, but one corner to go through left field. Gets a run through, and it's gonna be. Oh, it's actually quite wide on the Lexus, and they're going. Oh no! The server ended. Oh no, it's back! It's back!
It's back. We have no idea who got ahead. I think it was Ferrugia got through. I think he got it.
We absolutely got broadcasted.
Kunos things. Glenn, we've been done dirty by the server and the cameras, and something's going on. But we do have car sounds now, as produced by Breno has let us know. Ferrugia, we didn't get it on camera. I'm so sorry. But you did a bloody good job. We saw what was happening. We saw you go for the overtake. Excellent work. Well done. And a good race by all. We did
a little bit interesting. Definitely, and someone's gone and found the underneath spot. Yeah, the glitch at the end of Cop's Corner. They found the magical the hole of doom, and that's what happens, Mr. Vinter. It goes for a little bit of a wild ride.
Hang on, what's going on?
Yeah, you don't know about.
I don't know what that is.
So at Cop's Corner, up against one of the barriers, where there is a hole that you can fall through, and so people do it on purpose, and they go flowing underneath the map. Don't do this in official races because I think it's bad for the server. And back he goes. Look at the speed.
Look at the speed of it, Rob. That's incredible. Oh, I've got tears running down my cheeks. That's amazing. I just didn't expect that. We had Benny Vinter doing somersaults in the old Audi through the English countryside around Silverstone, the old airfield. But you'd think he'd be looking to take off, but with remaining almost too grounded there as he glitched through the map. This is why we love sim racing. It just brings us things that real life racing could never. Sensational.
Realism.
Excellent. And that's the end of our community race here tonight. Cam and I will also be guiding you through our qualifying, which will be followed by a top 10 shootout tonight. Stick around. We are 6 minutes away. Thanks so much to Simrigs for bringing us the OOR Endurance Series, as well as the fun and fantastic and somewhat entertaining, as we see Audis glitching through the map, the community races here tonight. Thanks to everyone that helps and puts these things on. Massive thanks to Steve Lewis, who ran this race tonight as well from a race director point of view. We'll be back in a few minutes. Oh, and we are so back. It is endurance time. Good evening, everyone. Tonight you are dialing in for the Octane Online Racing Simrigs Endurance qualifying for the Silverstone 12-hour. It's 12 hours of racing in the real world, but it's 24 hours in-game, which means we get day-night cycles. On the weekend, we have the best of the best coming out for what will be one of the last, not the last, but one of the last endurance races in ACC as the world migrates and moves along in the sim racing world. But tonight, we've got the qualifying. We will be looking at some of the best racers, looking to put down the fastest times. We did just finish up watching the community race where we celebrated some of the ancient or older cars in the ACC lineup, but tonight we've got the best cars and drivers looking to push some of the most insane qualifying times out there that I can't even begin to fathom. I've got Cam just waiting here in the box with me tonight. We've got Glenn on the cams. Cam, I know it was a quick 4-minute break, but we got to watch an amazing, it's an artwork. It's an absolute artwork from Cricky there. I wish we had the sound, but that was absolutely beautiful just to look at. This game can be so pretty at times.
Yeah, definitely watching that one back on the stream to get the audio. But unfortunately, we're not on the cams right now, and I have to press one button down to make sure I, actually broadcast my voice right now. But I'm doing my hands up. Absolute cinema from Mr. Cricky. Take a bow, Mr. Mike Crick as well. Absolutely amazing job. An amazing job by everyone as well to run these events, by all the stewards, all the race directing as well, all the corralling that they have to do for us meddling drivers and dealing with us, especially us commentators as well. We're a right handful. Thank you to Mr. Blake Griffiths and Glenn and all and co. Done an amazing job. But we're here, we're ready, we're undergoing qualifying already. Qualifying 1 right now as we are going out right now. So 20 minutes, and it's currently Pro-Ams and the AMS cars are only on track right now. 20 minutes for them, and then it'll be 20 minutes for Silvers and Pros later on. So it is a split qualifying, 2 classes per split. Obviously, so the field will all be completely together and sorted out on the same grid, mix and match, but the classes are segregated right now for the actual qualifying itself. And of course, we'll take the top 10, regardless of what class they are, into the top 10 shootout after this.
This is some of my favorite moments in OOR have been brought up and out by these types of qualifying nights. So I'm looking forward to it, mate. I'm all revved up. I've got my sparkling bottle of water beside me, and things are about to get a little bit hectic. We're seeing, as you said, the Pro-Ams and the AMs out there tonight. Some of the AM drivers in here tonight are actually, this is their first ever qualifying in this fashion for OOR. So this is excellent. I'm going to shout them out because it's some of my boys from the Pidgey Racing team. We've got Erwin Scholes there tonight in the 455 Aston. This is the first time he's taken part of a qualifying of this stature. This is his first ever Enduro. Really looking forward to it. I believe we've also got some other first timers in one of the skill issue racing cars. We've got Charados in here doing qualifying tonight, looking to put down a flying time. We know Charados has some of that hot lap prowess in him, so keen to see that. We've got some idealistic temperatures on the server. It was about 18 degrees on the track, 18, less than 21, which was the practice. So we should actually see, I'm going to call it out now, I reckon we're going to have a top 10 shootout cutoff at about 157.8. That's kind of my prediction. If we can get a nearest to the pin kind of golf style challenge, yes, I'm a golfer, I'm sorry, I'm 60 and retired in my head. But if we can get a nearest to the pin challenge going on the times for qualifying, what's going to be the top 10 shootout cutoff time? If you can put it in the chat, I'll make a note of them. I've got a little notebook in front of me because, again, I'm old at heart. But if you just put your time in, mid 56s we've already got coming through, let me know what you reckon. I'm going to write them down. Closest, we'll, let's see, when I see, I'll give you a handful of Smarties. There you go. You've heard it here first, Cam.
Handful of Smarties. What a bounty. What a bounty. Can I put my name in? I wanted some.
Yeah, well, what's your call? I'm going 57.8.
Oh, 57.8 cutoff. So the slowest, the P10 in the top 10 will be 57.8 or lower. It's a good shout. It's a good shout, I have to say. I want to say... I think we'll see the 56s, obviously, from the top guys. Obviously, you know, they may go quicker in the top 10 as well. I would say a 57.6. I'm not that far away, but that's my call right now. Yeah, should be very interesting to see how they get on. I wonder how many. I reckon we'll see a few pro-ams in potentially into the top 10, maybe. Maybe one or two, because we have seen some very quick pro-ams out there, despite all, classifications. Some new boys on the block. We don't have the data on them right now. We shall see right now, but we're starting to get the first of the many of the times out there. Charitos out there in 14, car 14, the Aston Martin, 58.497. It's a good steady on lap right now. Obviously a little bit more time to find as well, I'm sure. Everyone going out there. Jason Teo, we saw him in the 4.8, now back in the 2.96, and we're now following Roy Atkin. Only really seen him in the Porsche before, so he's obviously now in the 2.96 for this round. 2.96, decent car around here as well. Very good enduro car all round, and well suited as well to the Silverstone circuit.
I do have to credit JC with the closest to the pin challenge on this. He put it in one of the chats I'm part of with him earlier this afternoon. JC, unashamedly stole your stuff. But thank you so much. We've got a heap of guesses coming through. I'm literally writing them down as we can all speak, which is why I'm shutting the hell up for 2 seconds. So I'm going to write that down as Cam talks to us about what cars he thinks perform.
Loopy's disqualified. By the way,
Luke disqualified. Too many sevens, Luke. I know I said we're allowing 2 decimal places, but not 22. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not good with numbers, that boy.
Good with mowing though.
Love you, Luke. Love you. You shouldn't bully the people that are about foot higher than me. Not met Mr. Loopy, but I've seen pictures. He is a big lad.
Yeah, height doesn't come through on the internet. You're safe, mate. You're safe. Gobi reckons cutoff is a 56.6. We've got a couple of guesses. The lowest I've seen, I've put Breno down as a 56.5, but Go reckons a 56.6. JC is 57.117. Cheeky on his own number there coming through. Yeah, I see you, JC. We've also just got Benny Vincent messaged me in the background, letting me know that he's just found that he found the hole at Silverstone. And I've just got Chris Cooley letting me know that one's called the Squid Hole, apparently. No idea what the legacy or the knowledge is behind that, but I'm going to let that one hang in the air. Luke, I've already got you out for a 57.2. I'm not going to update you to 777 and the rest. First in, best rest.
First in, best rest. But hello Race Control as well. Hello to everyone. And appreciate all being out here this lovely Thursday night. While we're all yapping, spinning the yarns, Roy Atkin and Jason Tier have definitely come out, gone out front, but Jason Charitos as well. Sorry, not Jason Charitos, but John Charitos is seated himself back into P2 there. Roy Atkin, a little bit of a bad exit out of the loop as well. He was on for a good time. 7/10 now as well for Mr. Clark in the 416, coming across the line, hugging the wall as well, shortening the line, and goes right up to P1 for provisionally for Pro-Am in a 58.165. I'm getting a little bit nervous about my prediction now. These Pro-Ams are already starting to edge there.
Dude, yeah, I said 57.8. That's insane. We're seeing Pro-Am times at 58.1. I'm scared. I'm scared, man. That's an insane.
They got 10 minutes still left.
Michael Clark is a fantastic driver too, but we've also got Roy Atkin sitting 0.022 just behind him there. So it'll be interesting to see. We're going to have a battle at the top there. We've got a couple of minutes left in this initial qualifying session before we switch over. Let's see who's up. Roy Atkin currently 0.2 up on his best time. Again, as you said, not a typical guy that we see in the 296, but love to see him out there in the big old vacuum cleaner. Has dropped a little bit of time there, but coming onto the straight, 0.1 up. Excellent drive so far from him. There's very little you can do on the straight, so you just got to take a deep breath in and breathe. But we are coming through. As I said before, so I've got those 2 pseudo sector markers, which I don't really line up with the sectors in game, but we've got coming under the bridge at Hangar Straight, that 31.5. This will be more useful for our top 10 shootout. We've just seen Jason Teo put down a 57.9. Holy cow. But then we've also got exiting loop and onto Wellington Straight through Aintree. So exiting when you run right under the curb, you should be at 123.76 if you're on for a 57, mid 57s. So we can use that as a bit of an anchor point. Roy Atkin sitting here only just up on his time now, dead level. So that's such a tough one. It's so difficult to keep that time going through sector 3, but he has taken that corner there really incredibly well. Yeah, well done, Mr. Roy.
That was what I was expected.
Okay, I think he's got Rob Roy Racing, so he must have Rob Buckerfield in with him again, because I'm seeing the Triple R. It's a flashy new livery, looking very sharp there. Excellent work. You see Jason Teo sitting at a 157.995, which is immense. Those 156 mid cutoffs are actually looking far more probable now. That's insane.
Yeah, looks like Roy Atkins isn't going to improve on this lap. I'm seeing he goes around. He's been circulating for a while, so he might be inclined to come back in and get a fresh set of tyres. As it see Rain is up into P4 as well in the Ferrari, so it is Ferrari quartet at the front of Pro-Am. I apologise in advance. X06 is the best I can do for you. But in the 74 in the BMW, Xavier. And looks like he's circling around. Got half a second in hand right now. Should get a little bit of a gains. Going up to maybe might be struggle to displace Mr. Neil Haynes in the Lamborghini, but only slowly improving. Great to see some new people out there.
Yeah, a couple of call-outs as well. A pretty stellar lap there from O'Brien as well in the 333 car. Only 0.8 off the leader, which means that he's sort of sitting around like a mid-ish 158, which is an outstanding lap, probably high 158. Incredible work there as we're seeing the Skill Issue Racing car of Charados there. Just grabbing a little bit too much ground. Is invalid, but was 0.26 up, which would mean that he's knocking on the door of Teo. We're coming down to our final laps. I believe each of the classes only gets 10 minutes to qualify. 15? 20? It's 20! Oh, Glenn's just informed me. They've got 8 minutes left. My goodness. We're gonna have a cup of tea and watch this as we go. This is okay. We've got a heap of time here now, but go, Jason. Come on, son. Let's see if we can get some solid improvements there. 20 minutes is all the time in the world. I feel like I could go out and set a 57 with this. I couldn't, but you know, anything's possible in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I love. Yeah, I'm checking out the YouTube chat. We've got everyone just picking their teams up, and then we've got Chris Crash has just gone. Please survive, Strim. Please survive.
Yeah.
We saw Erwin Scholes there as well in the Pidgey Racing car doing quite a damn good job. But we've got Charados just beating his time by 0.015 there, sitting hundredth and a half ahead of his previous best, and he's just run invalid through cops. No bueno. But we'll have plenty more time for another couple of laps.
Yeah, a bit of time left, and interesting to see he's going to continue. So he's still got fuel in the car. Up against the tyres, Mr. Scott Rushford, Mr. Annie Halleck in the 19 in the Kovacs blue car. They're going to circulate right now. Probably invalid on this lap. Actually, maybe just first lap out. They still didn't bother to fix that in the last few updates, but 6/10 down, so not looking to improve. Just set himself up in the next one. Pidgey Racing Team into the Brooklands corner right now in the Aston Martin. Yeah, that's invalid. Half a second up there. That's a bit of a shame, but reset, forget that lap, and go again. You know, you got a few bites of the cherry, but just try to drive 95%. Don't push everywhere. All on the limit, and you'll bring the lap together eventually. But we'll see how he goes. The other AM car as well, along with O'Brien. Obviously, the classification, so should preface, is kind of based on all the drivers, not actually the individual drivers driving right now.
Yeah, correct. But this is an all-AM team that Erwin is on here. We're just watching the car at Pidgey Racing. All of these boys, bar one, are brand new to OOR this season. We've got Benny Simpson, who's been in for a couple of seasons, but this is Erwin's first season of ACC. We've also got Michael Watson driving in that team as well. Brand spanking new to Sim Racing and OOR, so it'll be insane. It's awesome that they're jumping in. They've had such a great experience through the OOR Academy series. If you've never heard of it before and you're watching this, please reach out. Check out OOR, check out the Academy series. It's an amazing way to learn how to find your pace, find your driving ability, learn some racecraft in this mix as well, and get stuck in and involved. And you could be just like our wonderful man Erwin here. He's invalid on this lap, but he's only 0.1 off his best going down Hamilton Straight, and there's an entire half of the lap left to go. I'm seeing him here using all of the track there Abbey into Farm. This is an excellent part of the track for the Aston Martin. You can go flat, full noise through this section down into Village and the loop. Looking left here, you got to try and hit this curve as close as you can, but you don't want to touch the big red sausage of doom. He is now up by 0.7, loses a little bit on the exit there, but going to have a relatively good run out of Aintree and onto Wellington Straight, hopefully not dipping too far behind his best time. I know for a fact that he's got a 159 flat in him, so we can expect something relatively special to come here, down into Brooklands and up through Luffield, using a really good direction there of the track, leaving plenty of room on his right-hand side, hugging the corner there of Luffield. Going to use as much of the exit as he can, losing a little bit of drive and speed there, but is just slightly up out through Woodcote onto the main straight. We're going to see him basically dead level with his best, and he's going to go around for another crack. He's just beaten his best there, which is great news for Irwin. Well done, mate. It's so tough when you're under all this pressure. Your left leg's shaking, your right knee's locked, your hands are sweaty, knees weak, mum's spaghetti or something like that. Do you love or hate qualifying, Cam?
Oh, it's when it depends if I get it right or not, really. But yeah, I do enjoy qualifying. It can be a great high when you get a good result, like the race, really. Yeah, but it is, yeah, you can sometimes be your worst enemy. You can get in your own head and get frustrated. You just don't get the flow altogether. That's the thing. Like, just don't try to go banzai on the first 2 laps. Kind of just build up the speed, iron out the mistakes, just get into the rhythm like you would in a race. Kind of treat a qualifying, especially if you got the time and with a longer qualifying than this. Just treat it like a race. Put the fuel in, fuel up for at least 3 or 4 laps, and just kind of just ease into it. And the time will come. The time will come. Speaking of this,
yeah, mate, look at
3
this.
tenths up, 4 tenths up right now, bleeding a little bit down to 3, down to 2, a little bit. He was a little bit shallow into the loop and compromised his exit, and now running down to on the Wellington Straight into Brooklands. A temper half in hand. Unfortunately, did lose a lot with his run through the loop. Run now into Brooklands as well, and then the transition into Luffield. 2 tenths up, very shallow entry for Luffield. Runs wide on the mid part, hoping to get the V back on the exit to gain all the exit. Not too bad, but still about a tenth in hand, bleeding to 1/10, and that is unfortunately going to lose out a little bit, but it'll still be a little bit of a net gain. Gets him up into P3 right now, and he's got probably about 1 or 2 more runs if he's got the fuel. But good position from Roy Atkin, but he knows where the time is. He just needs to execute. Just execute.
Yeah, literally just get loop right, and that's an insane P1 lap at the moment. We got Haynes here sitting in the only Lamborghini that I've seen so far in the field. I'm pretty sure there's one higher up the field as well in silver class. But Haynes here currently sitting 0.7 up. And it's an amazing drive so far, sitting in P11 so far, so this will take him way up the field. If he can make this stick, he's 0.8 up the field. He is absolutely flying. Current best is a 2-minute 0.4. This should see him sail up through the ranks if he can get this. The exit through loop now onto the Wellington Straight up the backside of the course. Looking at a minute 37 into the lap. He's got a little bit to go, dropped a little bit of time on the exit to loop, but coming into Brooklands and Luffield here, really complex set of corners, doesn't run invalid, but does run pretty deep there, hugs this one. As you said, Cam, you've got to veer this off so that you can get all of the exit speed out through Woodcote and onto the National Pit Straight. Drops a little bit of time, but that's still going to be half a second of excellent gain there for him. What an incredible drive. Great work, Haynes.
Yeah, big gains in the lap, Bo. Unfortunately, not necessarily in positions. There's a bit of a gap to Mr. Erwin Schultz, and looks like his day done for Neil Haynes, the ANZ CRL guys. There's a great little academy team as well. They've been around for a few years doing the Enduros as well. Love to have them, people of all skill levels. And that's a big slide there from Ren as well, but it actually kind of got away with it. A little bit of transition, a little bit of a 4-wheel slide, didn't scrub up too much, and a good exit as well through Chapel down onto the Hangar Straight. Dead set even with his previous best right now of a 58.27. But run now into Stowe Corner, and he gets alongside left-hand side of the track. A semi-early turn in as well. Let the car understeer. It is a bit bumpy. Gets a good run. Holding even still so far. It's very tidy, very clean. I like to see it. And maybe he knows he's maybe got a few errors in his previous best that he'll gain a bit. A little bit early turn in, up to 2/10 gain. Unfortunately, loses that out. And then just on the exit, as we transition now to Scott Rogers, and unfortunately, Red's time not going the way he would like. The 2/10 up, very wide there on the exit though. And unfortunately, it's all gone. He might cross the line just in time to go again. We're going to be tricky there. It looks like, no, unfortunately, day done. But P6 so far for Mr. Scott Rochford. Great time as well. Roy Atkin right now. We've got no Delta right now. Not too sure if he's out on his first lap on a new set of tyres. Hard to tell. We'll click back for that one. Charitos right now. Potentially the same case. Looks like that's done for that one for the skill issue racing. Currently provisionally P1.
You know, famously, there's an offshoot of OOR run by, not official offshoot, but run by a bunch of OORs, the Fruit Bowl server. We're dealing with Fruit Bowl temps here. So we can expect that all of the times that we gave for my closest to the pin challenge to be well gone. I actually reckon Breno and Gobi are going to be pretty close in the 156.6s. But this is insane times. We've seen less than 3/10 between the top 6, and Ren is just adding to that damage at the moment, moving up to 3rd position now. Look at that. There's just over 3/10 between the top 6, and we've got Erwin here on his last lap. He is up at the moment 0.06, coming through a very, very tricky section of track coming into loop. We know that this plagued him before, but he is hugging that corner quite nicely, gets a decent drive, not his best exit out there under the straight, is going to lose a little bit of time, but we know that there's a heap of time to be made up for him as well. But I'll tell you what, for an AM team to be in the top 10 here, when we've got 12 teams on the track, he's beaten 2 Pro Am teams. I think he should be extremely proud of himself. Made up some good time here. A little bit of a slide in the Aston. That's no good coming into Luffield and exiting into Woodcote. Woodcote, we're not going to get it here. Just off the pace, drives into the pits there. Very classy style. Great way to exit your session. Well done, Owen. Massive, massive effort there on your first ever sprint level qualifying. Well done, mate.
Yeah, top stuff there from 455 PG Racing team. And you can see right now all the Silver and Pro teams have now come out onto the track. They were let loose as soon as it went below 25 minutes left on the timer. And we'll start to see a few of them start their first flying lap. So yeah, interesting to see where things go. Breno Ellis now in the Falcon colours of the Porsche right now. Should be interested to see how car number 7 gets along. Definitely going to be a absolute surefire contender for top 10 shootout is Mr. Breno Ellis in the Porsche.
Breno was only just in the chat 2.5 seconds ago, so it's insane that he's already out there and driving. Massive thanks to all the drivers that do sit there and keep us busy. We've got a number of different people here. We've got a couple of silvers that have sort of ended up in this class. You can see my name on there. I'm not driving. That's the wonderful Mr. Dave Stevenson, who is in there doing qualifying tonight. So we see Glory Babby just run a little bit wide there, possibly just letting a couple of cars through, trying to get a bit of movement. But I think we're going to see a couple of the silvers mix in with the Pro-Ams there. We've got some extremely fast Pro-Am drivers and some sort of Pro-Am or Am level drivers actually sitting in the silver class. So we're going to see a bit of mixing and meddling there. I will not be surprised if we get at least 1 or 2 Pro-Am drivers in the top 10 shootout. They were some sensational times.
Yeah, definitely one to consider. I think maybe, yeah, 1 or 2, probably 2 at most, I would say, because of the caliber of some of these other cars. We see, I think, a lot more cars, obviously, across the Pro and Silver teams. And obviously, remember, obviously, Silver teams, it is the general class for the car, but you can still have Pro-level drivers in the Silver cars as well. So we saw just before, you know, people like Jamie Comboy in a Silver-rated car, but obviously he's a Pro-level driver as well. Lucas Keys right now in a Pro-rated car. Shock. But in the 777, looked to be our first time lapped, as Breno Ellis did kind of unfortunately had a big slide through Stowe and invalidated and waited and didn't want to get in anyone's way, because of course if you pee in someone's lap you're going to get be penalized thusly as well. But what does Lucas do? He does a 57.0 right off the bat, close to a 57.1 pretty much, and that is only going to be a banker for the Porsche driver. Naeem into net P3 now, and Brad Cook into P4 in the AMG as well, all about half a second off. Steven Ricciuti up into P2 as well, 0.4 away in the Lamborghini. Great to see Ricciuti back in the Lambo, his natural habitat. It's been a while.
Can't figure out that livery of Lucas Keys. No idea what's going on there.
It's Lucas Keys liveries. You're not meant to figure it out, and you're not meant to look too closely either.
I've also just found out that Breno Ellis is not driving. It's actually Babby in there. It just wasn't updating for me. But we do have him in the chat tonight while he does his uni work. So thanks for dialing in, Breno. So we've got here, we're on Rashuti as well, currently just putting in a 157.4-ish, just behind Lucas Keys. Some sensational times here, but we are going to see things move. We've got Benny Vintner in the chat giving us a come on, let's go, Stefano Rashuti, doing extremely well for the Sofa King slow racing team. We've got Brad Cook as well. Interesting, in an AMG. Cam, I think we're seeing some people setting up for a fuel-saving strategy on the weekend, which the AMG is also good at. Anyone that remembers seeing, the wonders of the Coda Enduro earlier this year, the first race in this season, in this series, we actually had Pease's team do an amazing job of fuel saving there in the AMG.
Kovacs Racing Purple back then did a different strategy and kind of went along and ended up winning the race. The only team to win a race apart from Lucas Key's 777 team so far in the endurance season, but getting along nicely. Should be interesting to see. Will it pan out this time around at this track? Not too sure.
Name there, putting in a 157.4 as well, but Brad Cook following it up really quickly with a 157.3. Outstanding time so far, but we still have a lot of room for movement. Got to think that these are still some banker laps. We're not quite pushing the needle or moving the dial, pushing the car just yet, but some incredible work there. We're also following Amaral Name along in his iconic Ferrari there, but we've got Miller here, Joel Miller as well in the McLaren, putting in a pretty decent 0.6 just off the lead there. Joel Miller, don't know if he's normally a McLaren driver. I don't get to watch him too much in sprints. I mostly just see him in the community events. Is he normally in the Macca?
He is this season, Jack Miller, in the McLaren for Covenant Sprint. Isn't that a motor? I swear that's a motorbike driver, isn't it? Really Australian, someone Miller, Jay Miller, I'm pretty certain. Not that one. Don't know. Maybe it's one.
Mate, he could sim race in his spare time. We've got Saxon Hayes in the iconic Audi. Not a car that we see too much in the endurance field, so it's great to see him out there. Skill Issue Racing, flogging the Audi for all it's worth, and the 888 Racing, owned by not just Craig Lowndes, but also Jaden Rondinella in OOR. Saxon Hayes looking to be putting a pretty good 57.9. We'll be looking to take a considerable amount of time off that. Do you reckon the play here is if you're a sort of pro level driver, are you doing 2 stints here for qualifying, or are you doing one, just throw it all down, give it all she's got, captain?
In this quali, I reckon probably do 2 runs. Do the first 10 minutes on a set of tyres and do the second run on a set of tyres, because 10 minutes is probably the most you're going to get most out of the best possible grip. And, these guys are going to race to those finer margins up the top, unlike some of the, unfortunately, the guys down in the lower classes. It is going to make more of a difference. Fastest lap for Nathan Monks, Mr. Toto, over the 1:53. First 56 so far. So excellent job by Monks there in the not too sure which car he's in, but in a car. Interesting to see Saxon Hayes managed to conscript Mr. Rondinella into the Audi. Aston Martin, of course it would be for Mr. Monks.
Yeah, of course. That's a stellar lap in the Aston as well. Come flying out of Chapel Curve there. And onto the hanger straight. Toto says Loopty in the chat. Stellar lap, well done, Monks. But we've got another one ahead of us. He is a little bit off the pace this lap. Didn't get the greatest exit out of Chapel Curb. Tim Gobe saying he's going to kiss his teammate. We'll leave you to that, Gobe.
Yeah.
Leave you to that. But, excellent driving. We've got Hammond here, not doing too bad, sitting in 7th currently with a 0.59 off the leader in a very red Ferrari. We do like that, bit of Ferrari red with some interesting tessellation going on there, but he's 0.11 up, so he's going to pull in for a 157.45-ish here. We've just been informed by our man on the cameras, wonderful man, Glenn himself, that they have not submitted a livery, and that is a Frankenstein livery that has been pulled together by the gods of Kunos. So that's a glorious one to look at. I don't know, I'm sure someone finds art in it. It's kind of the Jackson Pollock painting version of a car livery. So we'll leave that one to go through to the keeper as we see Thurcolini up there. Damiano putting down a really, really good time so far. 0.354 up as he exits Maggots and Beckett's into Chapel. Just dropping a little bit off the exit speed, but prioritises all of the speed coming out of Chapel there onto Hanger Straight. Doesn't quite get it, does he? That's out of loop, sorry. My mistake.
Yeah. And still about 2.5 tenths in hand. And unfortunately, our early predictions that maybe a Pro-Am might make it in is definitely out of the case, because you can see the fastest one of Charitos is already down to 15th. So that is not going to happen. No AMs or Pro-Ams in the top 10. Kind of not too surprising. It makes a big difference here. A little bit wide down the exit for Collini, but he's still going to retain his 2.5 tenth advantage. And the run now holds the inside line, tries to hug it close, and looks like he's going to stop and go for a reset of tires, but puts him up into provisionally into the top 10 for Shootout. 7 tenths to the leader. I'm not sure it's going to be enough. Look how contested it is. Look how many 7s there are in there right now. Four or five. 7 tenths off the leader right now. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah, this is insane. As we see Kamaris just saying 156 is nuts. Could not agree more. This is incredible. Seeing Austin McNeil in 11th place currently in the top 10, setting a 0.735 behind the leader. So it's still a 157.7-ish, which is not far off his best. We are seeing ideal temperatures and times here, but you still have to drive the pants off the thing and get it working for you. Lupti says Lupti's bringing up back from the Kyalami Enduro, where he had a wonderful sensual French kiss with my brother on the track there. It was a big front-on collision. Calling that one back, reckons he's going to kiss his teammate just like he kissed mine. There's a lot going on here, but we're seeing Admiral name invalid on this lap, so looking to just put this one down, get through to the next. Not going to be returning to pits, running wide there, but using all the exit speed to start his next lap, I would say.
Quite interesting. We were looking at the Falcon Porsche of number 7 of Velocity Sim Sports. That's Brenner Ellis, Babby, and Squires. And I'm pretty sure, because he started his time lap, that was Brenner Ellis in the car. Has now swapped over to Glory Babby, and it looks like Glory Babby is going to reset to pits again. So not too sure what's happening with that car right now. It is in the top 10. Maybe they're taking a fresh set of tires. They have got until the 5-minute mark, so 8 minutes left in this session. Obviously, you can finish your lap if you started before that 5 minutes left. But shall be interesting to see. Interesting to have a driver swap in the qualifying session right now. I'm not too sure if any of those guys can allude to what happened. But Benjamin Hickman there in these Ferrari colors that they've run all season as well, up into the P9, just a little bit off, and unfortunately was up quite a bit, up to 3 tenths, but did get a horrible run really through the Vale Club chicane and did lose pretty much all of it. You can see it right there, as he followed by one of the Pidgey racing cars into Abbey and to Farm right now. See if he can recover, but this lap is not going to be it regardless, if he can, what he can recover from here.
Biggie Higgy, yeah, he's sitting, he's got a pretty good exit here out of loop and into the rest of it. Minute 24, so it's not too far after 157 mid, as we know from our earlier banker times. We've got Dave Stevenson as well charging behind him. Not quite sure where he's at in terms of the timing, but does seem to be dropping a little bit back to Benny Hignett here as he comes into the final 2 turns of Brooklands and Luffield. Sydney Sweeney on the side there. There's a bit of an obsession there. Someone should check in on him. Make sure it's okay. She's been in the news quite a bit recently. I wonder if he's going to go see her film as a boxer. I digress. We're seeing him now, 157, but we're seeing a Nathan Monk's lap here. He's invalid. We might be valid here. We can't tell if this is Kunos Timing Tower stuffing with us in the commentary box. Could be up, could be down. We won't really know. We'll keep an eye on it. Yeah, we definitely got some timing tower stuff.
Yeah, first laps out. First time laps always appear as invalid, and generally it's a telltale sign to see if it's up to 4 minutes because it basically hasn't reset. So this is going to be valid. This is 2 tenths in hand for Nathan Monks in the Aston Martin for 153. Currently on the 56.992. Crosses the line any second now, setting up for another corner and already going. It wasn't invalid. I forget anything that I'm going to say. Whatever.
So much hype from
along
us.
with this game.
We got Lucas Keys as well, worth noting, is only 0.098 off the back of Monks. Cookie there, 0.16 just behind him. This is going to be pretty damn tight at the top. I feel weird for saying earlier that we're going to see a Pro-Am here. I forgot how fast these guys just are. This is insane. So we're seeing low 157s across the board. So we see the shell livery of Brad Cook in the AMG 695 car. going through here the Brooklands and Luffield turn complex. He's only just up unless he gets an insane run out of here. Yeah, no bueno. No Breno.
Yep, unfortunately. AMG just got a little bit locked, a little bit of a slide as he tried to feed the power in on the exit of Luffield. Speaking of feeding the power in, it's also on the limit there for Naeem.
Valid.
Is right on the limit for Admiral Naeem. I'm not sure if he gained too much out of it on the exit, but definitely carried the speed. Was up to 210s, starting to bring it back with a good exit into club right now and running down the Hamilton straight for the Ferrari driver. Very fast operator is Admiral Naeem, and looking to see get himself a little bit further into the top 10, secure his position right now. Brad Cook is maybe going to get a fresh set of boots. He's already gone back to the pits right now. A good run into Village and now into the loop. See how this transition goes. And gets it a bit too much stop there, potentially. Caught a bit of curb as well. He's a little bit more stopped than I would have expected, but still got time in hand, but ultimately losing his time. I'm not sure. Yeah, this is he knows he's got that time in hand though for the next lap potentially for Admiral Naeem. If he has the fuel to go again, because I'm not sure if he really gonna get back, because to be honest, like even if he resets the pits, takes a fresh set of tires, the first lap out, obviously you got your out lap and then the first time lap, but the first time lap sometimes isn't even your best time a lot of the time. You kind of need the tires to still come up to temperature still on the second lap is usually your fastest. Up into P4 for Admiral Naeem, 110 he did gain, and not too bad. He is going to go around again, and he's definitely got time, potentially even to go up to P1.
So we're seeing Saxon Hayes now, only 0.39 off the lead. We have a very, very, very tight leaderboard just here. This is immense, but he's dead level with his absolute best lap here going down. We've seen him just cross over 32 under the bridge, so it is on for a 157. If we're going to keep an eye out when he exits loop and runs on wide onto the green curvature there, that will be, if it's a 123.7 or below, he is on for a mid 157. So we can keep an eye on that as he goes through and onto the Hamilton straight. This is when we started to get it. Come on, you got this, says Loopty. Saxon Hayes hunting now, going around the outside, up into Abbey. Using a little bit of that exit curb, not too much there. Using all of that left exit, hugging the curb there. You can get that black and white curve to pull you around up into Village. Now we got to watch here the time on the left-hand side as he goes through loop. 119 to this point, hugging that turb, catches a little bit of red, 123.9. So we're looking at a 157.5-ish here if he can pull it through afterwards. Such a tough little section of track there. That red curb seems to be giving a few people a bit of problems when they get too hungry.
He's run now into Brooklands and Luffield. Unfortunately lost the advantage he has, so he needs to reset. He'll get one more time lap. It's the same for Glory Babby right now, outside of the top 10, potentially going straight up into it with 2/10 in hand right now. Gonna go up into provisionally P8 when a 57.415 is a good time from Glory Babby. He will have one more try to secure his position. P8, everyone's in the kind of tricky zone. Jamie Conboy, I apologize. JC is up into P9, but he is done, parked it in the bus, and he is not going to go any further. Will he retain P9? Will he retain being in the top 10 in the next minute and a half?
Let's have a little look through down that timing tower overall. We've currently got the top 10 sitting, it must be a mid 157, like a 157.4-ish. Yeah, 157.4 just is the cutoff now. Where are we? We've still got Charitos sitting there leading the Pro-Am field in 15th. Jason Teo just behind him, 16th. But we've got, as I said, quite a couple of silver drivers down there in 22nd, 23rd position. It's a tough track to get right. And you get some extremely fast people. We've just had Jock Promo in the chat. John Conboy, John Con.
Yeah, never going to live it down. He's going to be in my DMs a lot, I imagine. Not.
Yeah. Mate, I called Breno Bruno earlier today, and that one's going to take me a little bit to live down. Maybe anyone out there can help me make it stick. Biggie Higgy with a bit of an XD in the chat. Well done, mate. Laughing. All right, we've got Austin McNeil here sitting. Okay, this will be his first lap, so it should be valid. We can ignore the timing tower, but we can have a look at that green delta sitting dead level as he comes through the switchbacks out onto the final turn of the... No, sorry, this is Hamilton Straight. I will get this right at some point.
Yeah,
comes
going now
into Abbey. There we go. It all looks the same. When I first learnt this track, Cam, I used to get it mixed up. I used to think that Hamilton Straight, as you was driving it, was the end of the track. My first, 5-10 laps, so I used to be so relieved, and then I'd look up and realise I still had about a minute worth of driving to do to get one lap in.
No one take Matt around the old Silverstone later. We used to turn left at the end of the Hamilton Straight.
I'd die. I'd probably find that squid hole that we were talking about before, and I'd be off doing somersaults through the English countryside. See Austin McNeil here currently holding onto the top 10, but Stefano Rasciuti sitting 0.11 up at the moment. Also coming into the final turn here of the National Pit Straight, hugging that right-hand wall, trying to get all the time he can out of it, and that is it for him. We'll be staying in 6th. We got Austin McNeil. Losing my voice here, Cam, as we talk. Austin McNeil sitting still top 9. Excellent work. A little bit of a last-second dap from him. Great work.
Yep, and seeing Fercolini unfortunately hasn't been able to make it into the top 10 and currently P13, so that will set his position. Obviously the top 10 will still determine their position on the grid. It is not set for the top 10, but Brad Cook now, I'd say he's pretty safe. He doesn't need to finish this lap, but he might just do for practice. Obviously good for the shootout in a few minutes time. We'll see what it can produce. Still a bit of time to find as he gets to power down in the AMG. A little bit tricky, as you can see it's starting to squirm a little bit. About 2 100s in hand, gonna bleed off. Dead set gonna go about the same time as he had before for Brad Cook. We're at 57.165, but it is gonna be Nathan Monks provisionally at the very top, fastest time so far, followed by Lucas Keys and Brad Cook for the top 3, but it'll be all for naught as we go into the top 10 shootout. Congratulations to everyone who's made it through, commiserations to everyone else, but it's gonna be, it's going to be the first lap of the full 12 hours tomorrow, and it can all change on lap 1, and definitely going to be interesting to see. It's not going to matter. Qualifying is irrelevant for the first for the first hour, to say the least.
Yeah, it means nothing that first time you go through cops, so we'll see how we go. I think JC just got snubbed on the top 10. If we can bring up the timing tower for us, Glenn, we'll have a look at where we go. I can't work out if he's in position 10 or in position 11. No, he did just make it. My goodness, he's ahead of Biggie Higgy the Piggy after the community race. JC's just nipped in there at position number 10. Nathan Monks. So let's see. So we got 0.518. So it's about a 57. We'll call it a 57.6. Cam, I think you've done it.
Oh,
it was a 57.6 was the cutoff.
Oh, not bad, not bad. Where's my Smarties?
Yeah, when we catch up in person, which I'm sure will be at some point in time, I owe you a handful of Smarties. I'm just looking down through my list. I don't think anyone else put a 57.6. It's all you, mate. The glory. Well done. JC's got you scripted. The commentator's curse panned out for once. this is good. It's not a bad thing at this point in time.
I'm saving
57.510. JC says, hang on, my maths is bad then. So 57.5. No one had it. I think it's still you. You're still the closest. Nothing changes. You win.
Community effort. A broken clock strikes once, twice every day,
Yeah, exactly. It's right.
Still need to be right one more time for that to be true. But in any case, it's going to be the top 10. Everyone else is leaving the server. We'll let this count down and we'll transition into another qualifying, which will set the top 10. Conditions probably unlikely to change. Still set 18 degrees for the server. Obviously, no rain coming in. That would be hilarious, though. But definitely coming along. But as Glenn is very much enjoying anything I say now.
Cackling Glenn in the background is currently having a giggle. Glenn, we know you have the power to make it rain right now. Can you please? Glenn is suggesting that we tell JC that we're going to put a pit stop in between the shootout laps.
Aye, 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 aye. So a gap now to top 10. Perhaps this some informations. Simrigs World Challenge 2025 standings right now for the standings for the enduros across the 4 races that we've had this year. Obviously starting off with Kota back in May, 17th of May, the Kota 12 hours, won by Kovacs Racing Purple. Unfortunately, they haven't actually attended any races since. 12th of July, we had Zolder 8 hour, won by Lucas Keys and Co. Same again on September for the Kailami 9 hours. So they are actually they're not leading the championship right now. It is followed up, it is being led by HPNT Motorsports on 314 points, ahead of 7777, Lucas Keys' team on 307 points, and then 306 points, 1 point behind in P3 is Smoke Dome Racing. So it is also close. There will be some points for qualifying right now, but it will be irrelevant if your race goes wrong on Saturday. So it is very close for the championship. And what did we have the quickest time by Nathan Monk? So 56.98.
Yeah, 56.98.
So I did talk about the previous enduro we had here 4 years ago, almost in December 2021. Bakita M6 GT3 in a 57.297. That's going to be beaten. Not too surprisingly, but that'll give you a bit of a reference how far we've come.
Yeah, it's right. We see JC coming out for his shootout lap now, just a little bit warming up, just trying to get some feeling back into the hands, no doubt, in this cool Melbourne weather, I would imagine. So we're looking for those times, 31.5-ish to the bridge of Hangar Straight, and then exiting the loop, we want to see 123.7-ish just as we exit that turn. We should imagine we're seeing some predictions. Go on, let's do it closer to the pin challenge for the fastest lap tonight. I've already seen some 156.89 from Loopty. Breno's got a 57.062. All right, let's go to 2 decimal places now. I'm all out of Smarties because I gave that I'm giving that to Cam. But I'll give you a handful of something. Let's see if I can get my hands on a Game Boy Color or something for you. Actually, that'd be a sick prize for getting closer.
Yeah,
to the Game Boy Colors aren't as cheap as they used to be.
I did Advance back in the day. The cutting edge of technology. Back when every piece of electronic had the clear plastic covers.
Yep.
Big trend back then.
I feel like, that was a big trend. It was pretty sick to see the internal workings and stuff. Now they're just, computer chips and boards, something that we don't really care about. Well, let's see here. Someone suggested that we should do the lap in reverse. JC would probably be better than most at that one, Loopty, actually. So, don't put that up because he'll absolutely kill it. But we've got 2 skill issue racing cars in the top 10, which just speaks to the talent of those drivers. We are coming through Maggots and Beckett's now. Jamie Conboy for the PR and KAM 666 car. The Ford Mustang, one of the very few Fords, famously not a great enduro car, but excellent in the top 10 shootouts. Has a restrictor on many, many tracks. I'm not quite sure if it has it here, but we've seen... Uh-oh.
I've heard about JC's net apparently having issues. Oh, he's back. He's gone. No, JC.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Silence fell across the room.
Oh, he's back.
He's back. No.
Oh, he's gone again. Oh, no. He's trying. Mr. Combo, he's left the building. He's back.
Keep up. What's going on? Glenn, help.
Take a shot every time he appears.
Glenn, this is what happens when we threaten rain. Here we go. Exiting loop now. So we can't see his time. We have no idea where he is, but we're really hoping it's good. Let's see if we can keep his internet more stable than Cam and I are feeling at this point in time.
Yeah, we'll see what he can produce. Obviously, first time lap, we got no reference. Lap. Yep, that is the reference. That is the benchmark. There's a high benchmark, quite literally. And he goes first gear through the last corner, and internet or not, he will pass the line. And looks like things maybe is potentially stabilized up into 4th as he crosses the line. I want to say I've really done my research, but yeah, 2 timed laps for each shootout driver, so he will go again. So up into 1/10 already at Corpse, as Mr. Matt Madden likes to say. So 58-1, pretty good banker, I have to say. All things considered, you know, he got a lot across the line. I'm so thankful for him on that one, given his net, but it's not slowing him down as he runs now through Chapel and onto the hangar straight as well. 3/10s in hand. The first lap is pretty much a sighter lap. And you see car 700 already starting to come out, and we'll start their time lap at the end of this one as well, just as JC finishes theirs. So interesting to see. Obviously, we're running in a reverse order of what they qualified on the previous session. So obviously, the fastest driver will go run last in this session. So it'll be Nathan Monks has got a bit of waiting to do, but I'm sure he won't mind as they run now through into club for Jamie Conboy in the Ford Mustang along Hamilton Straight as well. 2/10 in hand, looking pretty decent. Yeah, I was a little bit kind of skeptical that potentially they won't go quicker than what the times they had before, because obviously they had 20 minutes in the previous session to do their times. 2 laps to execute it is potentially they're not going to go as quick as that high 56. But I'm willing to be proved wrong here.
Very time easily. That he's coming here, looking at the exit there, 1:23.5-ish. So it could be on for a mid 1:57 if he books it, but he's got a lot of work to do. Under the bridge, he was a 31.6, so just behind the 8 ball for a mid 1:57. But seeing some amazing time picking up here. Look at how much time he left out there on that first lap.
Yep, and he probably had a few people in his ear last lap around distracting him about his internet. So coming along now, 5/10 in hand is looking good for a 57.6, I'd say. Crosses the line, 57.6, 1-2. And it's a good benchmark from Jamie Conboy. I'm glad he just managed to get a lap down, considering all the things all he did say. He can disconnect it now.
Yeah. I can't believe that his internet held. Normally, ACC is pretty righteous and religious about the way that it just drops you if it feels like your internet's gone to bits. So incredible that it actually kept him in the server there, as we see Matty Niparis here in the AMG, one of 2 AMGs in the top 10 actually, which is awesome to see. We rarely see these cars out on track in the regular sprint series, so cool to see them here tonight in the qualifying and ahead of Saturday as well. See him coming through. I don't know too much about the way the AMG drives, but what I've seen is it doesn't like big curbs, but it's pretty okay with being thrown around. And quite a tough car to set up from what I understand. But it seems like it's taken all the curbs really quite well, exiting out of Chapel there onto the hangar straight, under the bridge here. This is where we'll be looking for our 31.5, but we are on our outlap here, so wait and see. Austin McNeil, sorry, in the AMG, seeing him from his MRT, Milk Racing team here, coming down now into this very complex switchback of corners. Interesting that Aston here, I'm dropping down to first and then an early shift up to second, but the AMG holding second there the whole way through. Seems so planted. I wish I had that kind of traction. Flirts with danger on the right-hand side, the big orange curve of doom that sends you off, using all of this green strip on the left-hand side. You'll listen to the sound of the AMG ringing in your ears, coming around, hugging this left turn here through farm into village. This hairpin, you're coming in with so much speed, but you can carry so much through it, but you got to be super conscious. You want to try and cut this one close, but you can't touch that red curve because you will sacrifice all your speed if you do so. Good exit there out of the hairpins of village and loop through Aintree and onto Wellington Straight. Looks like Austin's setting up for a pretty bloody good lap here, I reckon, on this next one, Cam.
Yeah, tidy lap so far is exactly what you want from the first lap, and gets a little bit of a feel for the conditions as well and the grip that he has, not keeping it all in hand as well. You go back, a little bit weird is he had a bit of an awkward transition now into left field. A good run. We'll see what this on. I reckon it won't displace Mr. Conboy, but we shall see. And he doesn't hug the wall as well. Gets a good run. So yeah, up to a 57.9. So a decent banker, but definitely he knows where the time is on this lap. So a good run now through Cops as well, and a good exit as well. A 1/10 already in hand. We'll run see his run through Maggots and Beckett's left, right. Use a lot of curb. AMGs can take it very, very well. Transition's not its best strong point, as it is still quite heavy at the front. A good run as well through Chapel, not getting too many bounces, and up into 3/10 as a run now to Hangar Straight, where the AMG is obviously decent on the straights with all its torque in the naturally aspirated engine, and is run now into Stowe corner, an early turn in, losing a little bit on the entry, but the exit is decent as well, makes it back up for what he's lost, and the hard stop now into the chicane. Good entry, not too bad yet, gets on the power again, the transition, and the not too much squirms, can get a little bit away from you on that curb as well. You don't want to go too wide, up to 410s for Austin McNeil. And let's see how he tackles on Abby. Coming in now, uses a little bit of the entry curb, widens the line, gets a good run through and a good transition using two wheels in the entry. No, it's not too bad, but he did lose a little bit of momentum, but honestly got away with that one. Didn't really want to cut the wheels too finely there, and a good run through the loop. Not too bad, kind of on par with what he did before, just holding about that 410s. Now they're down into the run on Wellington Straight into Brooklands. He knows he's got time here. It's plenty and plenty he's got under his hand right now. He needs to kind of just execute. Oh, it's a bit wide. Gets it back, but loses a 10th. And into left field now. You've got to veer it off. He does go to first gear, but gets it back, and a good run actually as well. So he's going to maintain 410s, and I think this is going to displace Mr. JC at the top. You could potentially put him on P1 for a 57.5.
57.5. Yeah, that's a. I can't remember what time he did in the initial qualifying, but that is a great lap. It's about 0.2 faster than what he was doing the other day. So does show the pace of the circuit, but also the pace of the driver. That's a great lap there from Austin McNeil. Very smooth driver, old Austin. Him and Benny Vincent, mate. Mr. Smooth between the two of them, as we see Saxon Hayes now in here. Entry list doing me no favours tonight, but Saxon Hayes in the Audi car 888 aggressively taking those curves, just letting the Audi know it's in for a beating here.
This is not a good start.
It's not a good start.
No, it's a little bit out of line.
Speed.
It's the first lap.
He might also be invalid.
Yeah. Potentially, we'll sure find out. But yeah, the first run through Magnussen Beckett's not ideal. He was kind of a bit wide into Beckett's, and obviously affected his whole run. But we'll see what Saxon can produce. Yeah, we like to give a bit of banter between the two of us, and we'll see what he can produce. The fact that he's here in the top 10 with the Audi as well, it's a great thing to see.
Yeah, we've got Hayden Squires coming in saying Audi will last 2 corners before crashing. We'll see. He's been driving it really, really well. So, but we do have.
I don't see. Yeah, Hayden, putting your car up in here right now, so you shat it.
It's true. The competitiveness drives this OOR field. As we see Saxon just looking to smooth it through the rest of this lap. Won't be pushing too hard. We'll be focusing everything riding on that next lap. Obviously, you want to get up as high as you possibly can in that top 10. It's really good, I think, as well, that we've seen. I don't think any cars have excluded themselves from qualifying this time around, Cam. So we're seeing everyone starting from their rightful place. None of this sort of start from the back sort of stuff. So it's going to be a really good, really clean race start. I think there'll be none of those antics off the back. But we do see Saxon is now getting ready, looking to kick off the second lap here as we see him coming around through Woodcote onto the main straight. We'll see what that first time is. Doubt it's too impressive. Yeah, 158.492. He's going to put everything into this lap as he throws it into corpse, as I like to call it. Exiting there a little bit behind his first lap, but we do know there's a lot of time in Magnussen Beckett's. His left-hander, try and hug the curb, bleed off a lot of speed, downshift, transition the weight into the right-hander, left-hander now, grabbing a little bit of theirs all the time, coming back now, so he's already 0.3 up, I'm going to call it, by the end of the straight, even more out of Chapel. Yeah, not too bad. Pretty good on the exit there. A lot of time to be made up there. Particularly, I think we're going to see some time made up through Village and Loop as well. I think he was quite smooth and slow through there, just trying to nurse the car through this, the banker lap. But here we are now in his absolute flying lap. Saxon Hayes at his best, 0.45 up, coming out of the first of Village. Sorry, no, this is through Vale and Club. And he'll be coming onto the Hamilton straight now. 0.6 up. Excellent lap as he uses all of the runoff there, staying valid. This one's a tricky one to get right here. Use a little bit of the curb right. Don't unsettle the car too much. Stick right to the right-hand side and then use all of the track on the left. Coming through now, through Farm, into Village. He's 0.65 up. This is an excellent lap. But wow, look at it go. I said there was time here. We're 0.75 up. hold this on through loop. We are 123 on the exit, looking for a mid 157 if he can get it right. But he's 0.6 up, dropped a little bit of time. Still a couple of corners left to go. We're going to see him looking to now get ahead, but he needs 0.9 to beat his teammate and rival, Jamie Conboy. Good friends, these two boys. I don't know if he's going to quite get there, but he is 0.75 coming up through Brooklands into Luffield. 0.8 knocking on the door of Jamie Conboy, needs 0.9 to beat him. Running wide, staying valid. 0.7 coming through and across the line. We are going through. It's going to be tight. 0.7, 157.8. Not quite, but excellent laps action in the Audi. Really, really well done, mate. Super tough to get right this track.
Yep, had to execute it in probably one of the hardest cars to get the lap down. And excellent stuff from Saxon there. Unfortunately, the P3 for now, as the rest of the field come on. Breno Ellis, potentially, I'm not too sure. Like, some of the names are not correct, so I suspect, yep, it will be Glory Babby in the car. Yep, so is going to be starting his first timed lap in the Porsche C-Lane. I haven't mentioned the door cards once. And going now into the Maggots and Beckett's for car number 7, and getting a good transition as well. Obviously, first time, a little bit of slide on the entry, on the transition for the Porsche. It might affect the run, but got away with it not too bad. He'll know that for next time around. Obviously, the tires still probably not in their peak operating windows on the first time lap. And definitely enough straights here to kind of cool them down, and a run into Stowe as well. Pretty tidy, pretty clean, pretty on the money for the Porsche driver. But yeah, kind of a little bit of an exploratory lap. Just get that banker right now. Good turn in as well. Great transition for the Porsche. Yeah, short wheelbase, very light, kind of like the Audi as well. A little bit more immediate pickup from the smaller engine 6-cylinder than the Audi, but not to say the Audi's slow in terms of pickup either. A good run through Abbey and Beckett's, Abbey and Farm, and then getting it hard stopped as well. Brakes excellent on the Porsche, as we all know. I'm sure Mr. Mullet will definitely attest to. And a good run through the loop, probably one of the best cars for this corner as well. Almost the slowest corner on the grid, and the Porsche did all the get up and go of the flat 6 and the run now down. So I don't know, Matt. I reckon probably a solid banker, maybe a high 57, potentially a low 58. I reckon from Mr. Babby on this one.
Yeah, I'm thinking about a 158 flat, but we know that Babby has some insane pace when he pushes it. The Porsche seems to be really quite stable. He loves the transitions and some of these really tight, twisting turns. Let's see what he can produce here. Just about to come across the line. We've got a 157.8, so it's about 2 tenths up from where I was looking at it. So great lap there from Glory Babby. Let's see what he can produce here. Coming up through Cops, he's pretty much dead level with his time, but we've got this fast left-hander here. Sitting a little bit more left on the track than most other cars. Most others try to sit relatively mid in that first entrance into Maggots, but has made a little bit of time up here on the exit of Chapel, but comes on to Hanger Straight. 0.11 up, so it's a pretty good one. You're listening on board now to the roaring engine of the Porsche, the straight 6. We hit brakes here just before the left-hand curve, hug the right-hand side. Some people do like to take a little bit of a wider line here, but the Porsche hugging it pretty tight. Use a little bit of that curve on the left to keep it straight, running into this little complex of a Vale here. Then we've got this right-hander, very, very slippery off-camber curb. Really hard to get the power down and through, but we watched Glory Babby execute that with absolute brilliance. He's 0.17 up, which would put him at the moment pretty much in line with Jamie Conboy. 0.2 would see him above that and closer to the AMG of Austin McNeil. We come into Village and loop here, hugging that right-hand curve. Excellent exit, mid-track, perfect spot to be. Hard on the brakes, hug this left one. Excellent exit. Oh, a little bit slippery. I've called it too early. Loses a little bit of drive now through Aintree onto the Wellington straight. He's going to drop a little bit of time, but at the moment this has him sitting just above Jamie Conboy, looking to try and hold on to this lead however he can, try and make up a little bit of time here. We do know that he took these corners pretty easy. It's a bit slidey and a bit deep, but we do see him manage to keep onto it. Let's see if he can retain this 0.2 cam. It's going to be really close. Oh, not the best exit out of Luffield into Woodcote there. Comes onto the main straight. He's going to be 0.12 up over the line, maybe 0.13. He's going to be just behind Jamie Conboy. Goodness, it's me. much slower than we were expecting so far.
Yeah, definitely far from the times that we were doing before this session, but yeah, a little bit tricky there. It was a good lap from Glory Babby, but unfortunately I'm not too sure whether it was just caught the rear a little bit, breaking into Brooklyn's corner, but unfortunately did run a little bit wide and affected his transition into left field, as well as we saw the time kind of disappear as Rob Underwood is Jack Miller in the car is undertaking their lap right now, representing obviously Robert Underwood, and as well is Brock Godfrey also will be piloting this car for a three-man team tomorrow in the McLaren. The only McLaren, I'm not too sure how many McLarens we've seen. Normally Silverstone, normally a washroom of McLarens, but obviously with BOP these days it's a little bit more neutered than what it used to be, because it actually was a weapon here. But going along now through Maggots and Beckett's is gone and down Hanger Straight now. Stowe obviously superior, great aero from this car, mechanical grip a little bit tricky, and as well as power as well. It is quite spicy in first gear. It's been a while since I've took this car out, but we'll see how it goes now into the chicane. I think another abstract job livery not submitted on the McLaren. So a little bit of a mess as they run now onto Lewis Hamilton straight, and obviously into Abbey. These corners absolutely sublime in this McLaren. You've got all the aero in the world, absolutely glued to the ground like a fan car, and they're running down into Village as well. So a pretty tidy lap, I have to say. Looking from Jack Miller right now, a very quick driver as well, I have to say. Seen him pilot the Porsche a few years. He's kind of somewhat a little bit new on the block. He's been around for the last few sprint seasons, but getting here, definitely building up his experience and already showing his speed of what he's capable of. Silver rated car as well, one of two in this top 10, I believe. Potentially 3 silver cars, but Jack Miller, a very quick driver as well. Run now into Brooklands and for Luffield, wide there, kind of like Glory Babby we saw a lap or so ago. So he'll know there's time in this lap for next time around, and a good run through Luffield, going past Woodcote. And the McLaren driver, what's he going to do? I reckon probably a 57.8. And we've got a 57.795. God, I've been on the numbers tonight.
You have been on the numbers, mate. I've also just seen as well, if you look to the bottom right-hand side of your screen, Jackie Miller there is driving with TC off, just teasing us, just showing what we've got doing. I've also just been informed in another chat I'm being abused by Dink Donk Chris Cooley, OOR legend, to let me know that I said straight 6 instead of flat 6 for the Porsche. I'm going to clean up my nonsense and attitude. I will do better, sir. I know nothing about cars and everything about talking smack, so that's why I'm here. Cam's our man on the ground for all of the racing knowledge tonight. We see, though, Jack Miller coming up through stove or stool, depending on what you like to call it tonight. And an astute observation from our man Aidan Squires here in the chat as well, that people have been suffering a little bit with Brooklands after that Wellington straight. I think it's just so tough when you're looking for that time, when you're trying to push the car as hard as you possibly can. It's very easy to brake late into that, and if you carry just a little bit too much brake when you're trail braking into that left-hander of Brooklands into Luffield, it's very easy just to get that sort of lift off oversteer, or even a bit of lift off, so understeer and slide there. You can get 4 wheels sliding, but we're seeing Jack Miller now has brought it back and he's 0.4 up, almost 0.04 up, coming out and throw a little bit of a tail wag. As you said, it might have been just that grabbing too much gear there in second of the McLaren as he exits the little complex there of Village and loop through Aintree and onto the Wellington straight. Let's see how he goes into Brooklands. He'll be looking to make up a bit of time here, taking it relatively safe, hugging that inside apex, but does make up a bit of time actually. Excellent. Forfeited a lot of time on that first lap. My goodness, we're almost 0.3 up. That's an incredible drive there from Jackie Miller. Brings it back. He isn't going to quite jip Glory Babby, but he is going to get very close to the tail end of him. No, my goodness, he's made it. I'm going to let you call the times down. I'm going to shut up. My goodness.
Yeah, it's a good recovery there from Jack Miller. He did gain a lot as being like his error from Brooklands in Luffield as well, but it is a great time from the Silver team as well in the McLaren. I think unfortunately his strategy at TC off came undone at the loop. I'm not sure if he was on TC1, if he was changing it between the corners, but unfortunately he just kind of, I'm not sure if he just understeered in the middle part of the corner and then tried to give it a bootful, and then unfortunately just found himself running wide. Absolutely just kind of, I reckon he would have went to the top without that one. Only a 10th and a half off. He lost a lot of time at the loop, but unfortunately that's how it is. That's what's happened. deal with it. Next race, the race is going to be in a couple of days away, as Admiral 9 now starts her lap as well. Qualifying, qualifying can make a big difference on lap 1, but it is a 12-hour race, and we obviously following Mr. Admiral 9 in the Ferrari, the first Ferrari I think we've had so far in this top 10 shootout. Seeing a few of them around tomorrow. If there is any rain on Saturday, this is going to be one of the cars to be in, along with probably the Aston Martin, if it was to think of what the best car for the wet is. Admiral 9, 124 in the Ferrari, representing other drivers, his teammates Liam Hamilton and Moyin Taufik as well. A very quick team, going to be one to watch for Saturday. Pretty good run so far, I have to say, Matt. It's a pretty tidy exploratory lap, and see, he's not bothered. He's just going to try and prep the tires as much as he can.
Yeah, we don't see weaving do too much for your tires to save him in ACC. More just makes you look good, looks good on the stream. So thanks, Naim, for sharing that with us. But we are seeing him go up through this little complex of corners here. Yeah, he's just coasting at this point, right? Going back now onto the back end of the track through Aintree Wellington Straight. Not hunting. He'll be thinking more about his next lap than this current one, I reckon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Down here through Brooklands. This is the one that's been giving everyone some trouble when they're on their absolute flying lap before
they very wide, veer off as much as he can.
Yeah, exactly. Get all the speed, all the drive. He's done a really good job of this. It's going to be a really fast start to the next lap. We know Naim can put some time down when he chooses to. Let's let the delta sort itself out as we see it flying around all over the place. Here's 0.14 up. This is pretty good through Cops. Heading into Maggots and Beckett's, running really wide on the right-hand side rather than sticking mid-track like we see many other drivers do. But we are now half a second up.
I was going to say, he needs to be 6/10 up on his delta to displace P1.
And he's just done that. He's 0.7 up through, and he's only just finished Sector 1. We're on for a good spectacle here, mate.
Actually, the delta maybe, but yeah, I think the delta's bugged as well. Don't worry, because the last lap was invalid, so ignore the delta. It looks so
good though. It looks so good.
Absolutely amazing. Flying along right now.
Flying along. He's on track for a 150 flat. It's going to be by the end of this. So the key anchor there will be that we'll have a look as he exits the loop. If he's around about a 123 on exit, then he'll be pushing a 157 mid. Kicking around. Nothing mid about that time, though. That's an outstanding time if you can get it. It's hard not to watch that delta, but you've got to remember, avoid looking at it as he goes through the first turn here of Village. Nice exit. Finish mid-track. Come in. Dive into the next corner of Loop. Let's watch that time. It's going to be, hitting the green curb at about a 123.2, I think I saw, which should put him on for a low 57. Let's see how we go here. Coming up the back end of Wellington Straight through Aintree. Brooklands, this is the corner that's been giving everyone some trouble, but he brakes at the right spot, doesn't send it too deep, manages to take that green curve on the left, which is the aim, a little bit squirrely into here of Luffield, but manages to keep it looking pretty smooth, sharp and tidy on the exit. No sliding, almost invalid there, using all of the track. Down through Woodcote, using all of the right-hand side. Don't kiss the barrier, but he's going to run it. There we go, 157.4. Well, I see, that was good on my timing. I did okay there, Ken.
Absolutely on the marks, on the money. Displaces Mr. Austin McNeil at the top. There's Mr. Naim. It did look a very good lap despite the delta. Delta was handed a few fives to make him look quite good, but out right now is car number 90. Well, it's piloted by Mr. Ricciuti in the back in the Lamborghini after his few spells in the I think Mustangs and Ferraris of recent. But great to see him back in his he's been a Lambo champion for many a year, longer than I've been doing this thing, to say the least. Obviously representing Mr. Dylan King as well in that four-car team on the entry list with four-car team, four-driver team. Also got Ben Vintner and Kane Phipps in that car as well. Potentially we'll see tomorrow. But good, looking pretty tidy, looking pretty clean. I'm not seeing anything too bad. Tidy is fast, smooth is fast. That's the golden rule of racing. Remember what the car, smooth is fast.
Right, and I was talking to Benny Vintner about the Lambo as a concept the other day. Not a usual car for him. He has found the pace in it during the week. Wild looking steering wheel as well. Looks like almost like a kid's toy that you get out of a Cracker Jack box, but it has that like real snap oversteer to it where you see him steering right on almost every exit to a corner or steering the opposite direction. But yeah, Benny Vincent took a couple of days to sort of find the pace in it. I think he was saying that the ride height is run really high. I don't know if that's Rashudi's setup or maybe it's King's or maybe it's Phipps. One of them, but it was quite a bit higher, so it took Benny Vincent by a bit of surprise. But he did say that he found some pace in it by the end of the week. So really cool to see what they can produce here. Lamborghini, great car to see out on track. We're coming through now, great exit there out of Luffield and Woodcote onto the main straight here. Let's see what this first time is. It's a valid 157.7. Coming up through Cops, brake just before the 50 if you dare, and then around on the right. Avoid running wide here. So easy to invalidate there, Cam. That corner terrifies me every time. I'm using all the track here on the right-hand side on the entry into Maggots. Then into Beckett's, looking to try and maximise your speed through this right-hander here of Beckett's there. Does a pretty good job running wide left, but still carrying a lot of speed through Chapel onto the hanger straight. Under this bridge, we're a 131.2. This could be a really good lap here. That's on track to be mid or low 157s, especially if you can keep it up. Coming through, as you called it, Stool. This so corner here, down through, brake at the curve on the right-hand side into Vale. Or Vale if you get it wrong and die here. We don't want to do that. All the drive there, hugging second, trying to keep all the power up. Narrowly misses the curbing on the right-hand side onto Hamilton straight. Going to be looking to use a bit of the left green curbing here. Throws it in. Barely lifts off the throttle. Carries about 10% through. That's impressive. Carrying so much speed down here through farm and into village. Runs a little bit wide and squirrely there, but manages to keep it very tight line here through the loop. 123.5, that is looking pretty good for a low 157. If he can pull it through, matches up with the delta we're seeing. 0.36, 0.37 up. Coming through Wellington straight, down into Brooklyn. It's a corner that's been giving people trouble. Braking very late there. I would never dare. Hugs the exit. That's an excellent line. Looking to hug this corner right on the inside. V it off a little. Get as much exit as you can. Watch him squirrely. The hands dancing. Going to stick it right close to the wall through.
Looks good.
Looks good. Looks good. 157.3. That's an amazing lap from Rashudi. Well done to Team Sofa King Slow. That's an amazing pole position so far. Let's see what Monks and Keys have to offer. We've also got one more as well, haven't we? Who else is out there at the moment? We've got Chris Taylor is the other driver, but that's not who's in the car. Who's in our AMG for us here?
Brad Cook.
Brad Cookie's up there in the AMG. Not used to seeing him in anything other than the Honda. But we're here looking pretty good. Brad Cook put down a pretty damn good time earlier this evening. Let's see if he can back it up as he goes through Cops here. We'll have to wait on the timing tower stuff, but let's see if we can get a bit of a feel for him here, Cam.
Yep, and he runs his transition through Maggots and Beckett's. I've used transition about 15 times tonight already, but it's all key around here. It's smooth as fast. They'll keep nailing that in. It is the key to all racing. TCs, ABSs, or even if you don't have any of those, no matter what you drive, smooth is fast around any track. And they run now through into Stool and running quite wide as well on the exit. I think that'll be okay as long as you keep two wheels on the black and white curb. You should be okay. Brad Cook, yeah, in the AMG. I have seen Pilot's car in the past, been in the Honda a little bit lately as well, as long as some of his teammates. And used to be an Aston driver in the long time past as well. Now into Abbey and into Farm and the AMG, the second AMG in this top 10 as well. Great to see some of the old Mercs, definitely the oldest kind of active car in a racing and in the sim, to be honest, I have to say, for the 2015 AMG. Well, this is the 2020 Evo kit, but you know, it's still a very old base platform. But run now through the loop, look pretty good. AMG, good torque as well, all the torque you could want. A little bit heavy on the front as well. You can stifle the direction change and run now down Wellington into Brooklands, the corner that's claimed to many. gets it nicely stopped, right to apex, clips both apexes very nicely as well. A little bit of a slide on there, but it's a good entry into left field as well. Veer off, not too early, don't get greedy. A little bit of a micro slide, but that's perfect. Run it right on the line and into Woodcut now. It should be a very good banker lap, and high hopes for this one as he puts it up into P3 on the banker, 1/10 off provisional pole right now, and into Cops again. And I'll let you tag team style Mr. Mad and take it over. It's already a cooking lap from Mr. Brad.
Yeah, that was insanely close to running invalid there on Cops. We've seen a couple of people claim that this is the Honda of the front engine cars, sorry. But exiting through Maggots, wide under Beckett's and Chapel curb, but is currently sitting 0.15 up. Again, banker lap was sensational, only needs 0.107 on the timing tower to actually beat Rashuti. Here, definitely not a silver team in front, says a couple of people in chat, but hey, that's their classification. We can get some good drivers in there. It's allowed. Using all of the curbing left there as we run into Vale. Late on the brakes, but this car can take it, throws it in there left, hits the right curb, uses almost all of it. I've seen people take a tighter line, but manages to hold it right there. 0.35 up, coming onto Hamilton straight. Gonna throw the car here into Abbey. Let's watch that accelerator, see how much he lifts off. Tiny tap on the brake. Absolutely minuscule, but just enough to help the car get rotated. He's almost half a second up, Cam. I can't believe what I'm watching, but he comes in through into the first of the chicanery village and into loop. Let's check that time. So 120, oh my God, he's a 122.9 into there. We're on for an absolute friggin' flyer here as he exits onto Wellington straight through Aintree. He's 0.56 up. We're going to see a 156 here if he can hold it all together. Brooklyn's the corner that claimed a few, as we heard earlier from Cam and everyone else in chat, but not Mr. Cook here, flying through 0.6 up, squirrely on the brakes, but it doesn't affect him. Drops a little bit of time, but a great exit here, looking to push 0.7 if he can get it. No, 0.6 is going to be the number, but that's going to take him to a 156. We're going to see a 156. Brad Cook is absolutely cooking tonight. 156.93, the fastest lap of the race tonight, puts him on pole position. Beat that, he says. Beat that.
Absolute stakes, that lap from Mr. Brad Cook. That is an absolute statement of intent to Mr. Monks and Mr. Keys, who are the last two to run. Speaking of which, Lucas, the kid, as Sean likes to call him, Lucas Keys, will start his first time lap in the Porsche, the second Porsche in this top 10 as well. Is an amazing lap from the AMG there, Brad Cook. That was absolutely amazing, and just absolutely clean. See, he was fighting it, but he kept it clean. Speaking of which, though, now Mr. Lucas is going through good runs so far through Maggots, Beckers, and Chapel on down to Hanger Straight as well. And we'll see what Lucas can produce. So I wonder how much he'll actually kind of absolutely full beans and full push this lap, or he'll just keep a little bit in reserve just to get it banked. I'm not sure that's Lucas's style, though. Absolutely running the line on the entry, no more space on the left to widen the line through Stowe. Looked pretty good, a little bit square up on the exit, and a run now down into the chicane. Best part for the Porsche, bar the loop, and looking pretty good as well. Good exit as well, a little bit of a four-wheel slide, but a good exit, I have to say. Now down into Lewis Hamilton straight and coming into Abbey and Farm. Pretty good corners, lots of entry curve as well, widening the line. And going now into Village, gets it nicely stopped. Excellent brakes on the Porsche, down into first gear. Lots of turn and lock, and a wide entry as well. Hold it in second gear, is not opting for first, and gets a good exit as well. A really good average speed through that corner from Lucas in the Porsche. And now down to Wellington straight. We'll see how he tackles Brooklands as well. Porsche a little bit tricky on the rear braking. Kind of a bit of a late turn in. Misses the first apex, gets the second apex for a good run. Transitions into left field very wide, very off. I think he knows maybe this lap isn't as much. He wouldn't go that wide if it was on a full beans lap. And he sets himself up nicely, but this will still be a very quick time, I imagine, for Mr. Lucas Keys.
Yeah, mate, I've just been alerted as well. Apparently the front of his car is a zipper. So zipping up the two teams there, which is actually quite clever for a Keys livery. I don't mind that. But it's worth noting he is 0.25 up through Cops. Not even in Maggots and Beckett's complex yet, but here we are, 0.3 up coming through Maggots. Let's see him go through Beckett's. coming out, 0.3 retaining into Chapel Curve. Takes a little bit of grass, but it doesn't seem to affect him. As he said, Shauno calls him the kid. The kid is just bouncing everywhere. Manages to pull up through, running down Hanger Straight. He was about a 31.5, I think, so he's on track for a mid 157 again. But let's see if he can pick up some pace here using all of the exit here. Oh my God, that is so close to invalid. I don't know how he uses this much of the track. It's like he's got Cam sitting either side of his wheels, just so that he can see how wide he's running. I don't have that kind of touch, but Lucas Keys sure as hell does. Loses a little bit of speed on the exit there, and onto Hamilton Straight. Has probably dropped about 2/10. This is not going to be good for his overall lap time. We need to see. Agreed. We do need to see the open zipper before the car goes off screen. So Glenn, if you can get us a good look at that open zipper, Tim Gope wants to see what's inside the zipper. We'll try and keep it. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe we can get a bit of a look off camera whether or not we do want to see it. That's how we're going to get his 0.33 up here, going through Aintree and onto the Wellington Straight. You got to think Cam is going to break so late here into Brooklands, Luffield and Woodcote just to try and make up as much pace as he possibly can, but doesn't quite have it here. Currently on track for a low 57.3-ish. Oh my goodness, look at how much time he's made up there. Oh my goodness, so he's going to be sitting really close, but I don't think he's going to jip Brad Cook. It's an outstanding lap from Lucas Keys with a couple of errors in there as well, which is insane. 151.12, does take second very comfortably. Great lap, Lucas, and we can see the zipper. It looks like a Discord chat. I don't know. I got no idea
what it is. I think I know what it is. I'm not going to say.
Let's leave that one. Let that one through to the keeper. Talk us through Monksy.
Yep. This is Nathan Monks in the Skillershoot Racing Aston Martin. Fabulous Libby. I believe it's another one by Mr. Mike Crick for the 153 and Skillershoot Racing. I think Sean's team as well. Excellent stuff by those guys. Nathan Monks and Tim Gobe as well for this car. Tomorrow, two-car team. Nathan putting in all the work right now. We'll see if Tim can live up to the speed come tomorrow. But a good run through Magus and Beckett so far from the Aston Martin, and decent car, very good all-round car as well. And Mr. Monks is a big fan of it as well. Next to probably the Mustangs, probably the closest choice. And don't see too many Mustangs these days since they put that restrictor on it, I have to say. Rightly or wrongly, I'm sure there will be many discussions of that in chat, but so far looking like a pretty tidy lap, I have to say, for Mr. Monks. Good run through the chicane. Lots of cutting on the entry as well. That is quite surprising to see, but got away with it. Didn't look too bad. We'll see if he does that next lap around. Wonder if he'll be a bit more of a take to kind of just get this banker in, but I wonder if he'll set it up like kind of Lucas did at the last corner. There's a good run through Abbey and Farm as well. And yeah, not much to comment on this lap. It just looks very clean, very smooth, very fast.
Which is what we like at this point of the qualifying. Makes you taking a really nice line exiting there, but again, it doesn't look like he's pushed the car too hard. I don't think he's too focused on this lap. I think everything is riding on the next lap for Monksy here.
Yeah. I'll be interested to see if he can retain his net pole position that he got coming into this session. Fastest driver so far in the split. Looking as a good run through the last corner, setting up next lap. I'll see what he does. I reckon it'll be a 57 something, 57.4. So that's a very decent banker as well. Didn't look the most dramatic lap, but that's all it takes to do a good time as well, and a good run through Cops and into Magus and Beckett's now. Well, change over to you for the Hanger Straight and a co into your favorite corner, Stool Stove.
Still Stowe. Absolutely. Takes a little bit of grass there, but he's still finding and gaining time. Under the bridge here, we're looking for anything better than a 31.5. As the cameras change, we'll just see it go under 31.4-ish, let's call it. So that's looking on track to beat his best time. We can see the delta here, braking very late into Stowe, everything. We've got points. Oh, he's just fighting it off. Hangs it straight out here. Going to be looking to late break. You can carry a lot of speed through this corner, but you've got to make sure that you sacrifice just enough that you can nail this one on the right. Oh my goodness. See how much curb he took there compared to the likes of Lucas Keys. Grabbed everything he possibly could. Stayed in second there as well, which for the Aston, you really have to be hunting, because if you don't have that corner speed, you sacrifice a lot. But he's going through Abbey, no touch of the brakes at all, using everything on the left here as he comes into the village. Early hairpin, steering left to go right, sacrifices a lot of exit speed, using everything he can, gaining a little bit of time through the loop there on the exits of 124-ish, 123.9. Let's call it. So he's just going to beat his time, but at the moment he's not on track to beat Brad Cook. He's got to produce something special, Lucas Keys-esque, through the last two turns. Brakes late right at the sign. That is the very last second you could possibly do it, but doesn't quite have the speed here. Took it so well that first time, hugging the right-hand curb of Luffield into and out of it. Using the left exits, not going to have it, but it is probably going to put him up in contention for second if he can get Woodcote, but it's going to be just behind Lucas Keys of a 157.157. An outstanding lap as we see him crash a multi-million-dollar race car into a wall there like it's absolutely nothing. Glorious sim racing. And that's it, mate, for the top 10 shootout of the Simrigs Endurance Series, the qualifying for the 12-hour on Saturday. Highlights?
Honestly, the lap by Brad Cook, I'm a bit of an Aston Martin, a bit of a Mercedes man at heart, and that was an absolute exemplary lap there. Unfortunately, he's already disconnected, so we don't get to see his time, but that was it. Thanks, Brad. That's it. Out. Back to Winnipeg.
Out.
But yes, there is going to be the AMG of Brad Cook from Mr. Lucas Keys in the Porsche, and then it'll be Mr. Monks in the making up the top three. So yeah, that was an amazing lap from Brad, I have to say. What will it produce tomorrow? First lap, it's going to be very tricky. It is a very short run from the start to Cops Corner. We always see a bit come undone at Cops Corner as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm on the race start. We'll be seeing you for commentary throughout the day. So everyone, make sure you dial in. I know we've got a lot of people that will be driving, but also some friends, family, and matriarchs and patriarchs of OOR dialing in. So we look forward to seeing you all on Saturday. Cam, thank you so much for accompanying me in the booth tonight. Glenn, thank you for your work on cameras. Thanks to everyone for participating in the community race earlier as well. Huge thanks to Simrigs, all the stewards, all the race directors, everyone that makes this thing, this league, this Enduro what it is. We have the final race of the World Endurance Series this Saturday. Cam, we'll see you there.
See you there. Thank you, everyone, and have a good night.